Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know your history, history? Yeah.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, we're back. Welcome back. You are now tuned into Our Hidden History
Radio show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, y'all know I'm back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
Been
it's
away
all
for a
praises,
little bit.
man.
All praises.
All praises.
Yep. I'm tired as hell, man.
Is back.
Hanging out in New York, man, with the bishop
Oh,
and
man.
the deacons and the captains. Yo, man, got back at 6 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm really,
Yo, sorry, Deep, man.
I'm really tired. But anyway, God can make it. So we're gonna continue where we left off. We're in part. What part is this, man? It's 5. Oh, praises, yeah. You know, it's we are in the preliminaries of the time of the Gentiles. The preliminary time of the Gentiles. Because we're not quite in the time of the Gentiles as of yet. Not until Babylon sets foot in the scene. So we're leading up to that. So we're gonna go to 2 Kings 18. And we're gonna read from verse 1, and we're gonna finish all the way to the end.
Dang.
We left off.
When I scored it,
We left off with Shalmaneser conquered Northern Kingdom. Sargon conquered Northern Kingdom. That's where we left off. So at this point, Sargon and his children, Syrians, are known as the Sargonid dynasty, pretty much, of the Assyrians. So we're in 2 Kings 18. I even sound tired. 2 Kings 18.
it's a long night. Dick.
Yeah, man, long night.
Yeah, man, that was an excellent class yesterday too.
All praises.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Excellent class, Deep.
Sheesh.
All praises.
The wicked shall be revealed.
Yep.
It was revealed.
What verse, Deep?
Verse 1.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 18, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea's son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of...
Wait. Matter of fact, where are we? We stopped at 2 Kings with Sargon, right? When Shalmaneser removed Northern Kingdom out the land. Real quick, before we go there, let's jump down real quick to verse. He removed King Hosea from being king and took us captive. So let's real quick. Let's see what he did after that. 2 Kings, real quick, 17. 17:22.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 17, verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them.
Right, go ahead.
Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
Read on.
And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Saravaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof.
So if Ephraim was removed out the land, deported out the land, and he put heathens in their place. He placed heathens in their land instead. Go ahead.
Verse
Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Verse 25. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there, that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them.
The heathens. Go ahead, because they were living in the Lord's land. Go ahead.
Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land.
Go ahead.
Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there.
And that goes back to those base men that Jeroboam set up. Go ahead.
And let him teach them the manner of the God of the land.
Go ahead.
Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the house of high places, which the Samaritans had made.
That's Israel. Go ahead. Ephraim. Go ahead.
Every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt.
So the Lord allowed the heathens to stay in our land, and they had to honor him, but they also had their own gods at the same time. Go ahead.
And the men of Babylon made Succoth Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nergal,
These are their gods.
and the men of Hamath made a Shema, and the Avites made Nebhaz and Tertak, and the Seravites burnt their children in fire to Adramelech, and Anamelech, the gods of Seraphim. So they feared the Lord and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places,
That's our people. Go ahead.
which sacrificed for them in the houses of the high places. They feared the Lord and served their own gods after the manner of the nations, whom they carried away from thence.
Right. So pretty much they did the same thing that Ephraim was doing. They were serving they were serving the Lord, our Lord, and their own gods at the same time. The Lord removed Ephraim for that though, because these are heathens. So the Lord said, "That's they're heathens. You know, those aren't his people." But the Lord promised us that for our rebellion, He would take us out the land and put heathens there instead, like it is today. All right. So now, let's go to chapter 18 now. So now you have heathens in the land.
2 Kings, chapter 18, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign.
So in the 3rd year of Hosea, the king of Elah, king of Israel, Hezekiah was reigning. During the 9th year, he was taken over. He was conquered by Shalmaneser and removed, and he was conquered in the 9th year of Hosea and put out and took out the land during his 9th year. This is during his 3rd year, Hezekiah was ruling. Hezekiah is the son of weak, simple-ass Ahaz. Okay, Ahaz is the father of Hezekiah. All right, Judah, go ahead.
25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi,
Abai,
Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which right in the sight of the Lord, according
Hezekiah was righteous, unlike his father, go ahead.
according to all that David his father did. He removed the high places and brake the images and cut down the groves and brake in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made.
Israel's worshiping it, go ahead.
For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nahashtan.
It means piece of brass, go ahead.
He trusted in the Lord God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. For he clave to the Lord, and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments, which the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him, and he prospered whithersoever he went forth. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria, and served him not.
Right, so he didn't serve the Assyrian king. He served the Lord, go ahead.
He smote the Philistines, even unto Gaza, and the borders thereof, from the tower of the watchmen to the fenced cities. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it.
So read again. So Shalmaneser came up against, read again. Sorry, son again.
Verse 9. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea son of Elah.
Remember, Hosea was overthrown by the Assyrian king during his 9th year. So during his 7th year, this took place. Go ahead.
Son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it.
Right. During his what years? This is his
4th year.
4th year. He besieged them for 3 years. Go ahead.
And at the end of 3 years, they took it. Even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel.
There you go. Samaria was what? Was taken.
Samaria was taken.
Go ahead.
And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria, and put them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes.
Cities of the Medes, he placed them in the cities of the Medes. All right. So northern kingdom was removed out the land, and heathens were put in their land in their place. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his covenant, and all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded, and would not hear them, nor do them.
Go ahead.
Now, in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah and took them.
Sennacherib. So Sennacherib is the next king. Okay, I took over. Go ahead.
And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria, to Lachish, saying, I have offended. Return from me. That which thou puttest on me will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house.
So Hezekiah yielded and said, okay, I made a mistake, and he gave him tribute, taxes to the Assyrian king. Go ahead.
At that time, the Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord, and from the pillars which Hezekiah, king of Judah, had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria.
He had to deplete his sources.
Dang.
He had to use money from the temple, take pieces of the temple.
The door.
The damn door. Gold from the door. Because he owed a lot, because he offended. He was not giving tribute, so he had to basically pay back taxes to the Assyrian king. Go ahead.
And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rapsaris and Rapshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they were come up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field.
Right, it's an aqueduct. Go ahead, conduit. Go ahead.
And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe, and Joah, the son of Asaph, the recorder.
These guys are there to write down what took place. That's the vote kings, the scribes. Go ahead.
And Rapshakeh said unto them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah. Thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, What confidence is this wherein thou trustest? Thou sayest, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom dost thou trust, that thou rebellest against me?
Assyria is talking mess to Hezekiah. Go ahead.
Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust on him.
They don't trust in the Egyptians, so we already conquered them. So you can't rely on them to help you. Go ahead.
But if you say unto me...
That's what Hosea did. Northern kingdom did that. Go ahead.
But if you say unto me, we trust in the Lord our God, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah have taken away, and have said to Judah and Jerusalem, Ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem. Now therefore I pray thee, give pledges to my lord, the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen?
Yeah, what you relying on Egypt for? Go ahead.
Am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said to me, Go up against this land and destroy it.
Damn, go ahead.
Then say Eliakim the son of Hilkiah and Shebna, and Joah unto Rapshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Assyrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language, in the ears of the people that are on the wall.
Right, so he was saying, if you can, please speak to us in the Syrian tongue, so everyone's not hearing what you're saying, so all the Jews don't hear what you're saying to us. Go ahead.
But Rapshakeh said unto them, Have my master sent me to thy master, and to thee to speak these words? Have he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you?
Damn. Go ahead.
Then Rapshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and spake, saying...
So he ignored him. He spoke those words in the Jew language anyway. Go ahead.
Hear the word of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus saith the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, The Lord will surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered unto the hand of the king of Assyria.
Don't let Hezekiah just fool you. If we want to, we will overthrow you. Go ahead. Like we did Northern Kingdom. Go ahead.
Hearken not to Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, Make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me, and then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree, and drink ye every one the waters of his cistern.
Yeah, you'll live peacefully. Go ahead.
Until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of oil, olive, and of honey, that ye may live and not die. And hearken not unto Hezekiah when he persuadeth you, saying the Lord would deliver us.
He's saying, yeah, enjoy yourselves for now until we decide to remove you from this land and put you somewhere else so we see fit. Go ahead.
Have any of the gods of the nations delivered at all his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and of Arpad? Where are the gods of Seraphim, Hena, and Iva? Have they delivered Samaria out of my hand?
Yeah.
Who are they among all the gods of the countries that have delivered their country out of my hand, that the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of mine hand?
These are Sennacherib's words to his men, to Hezekiah, and the rest of the people. Go ahead.
But the people held their peace, and answered him not a word, for the king's commandment was, saying, answer him not.
King Hezekiah said, don't say nothing. Let him talk. Don't say nothing. Be quiet. Go ahead.
Then came Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder, to Hezekiah, with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh.
Go ahead, 19.
And it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes, and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos.
To go to talk to Isaiah. Go ahead.
And they said unto him, thus saith Hezekiah, this day is a day of trouble, and of rebuke, and blasphemy, for the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. It may be the Lord thy God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria his master hath sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which the Lord thy God have heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that are left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, thus shall ye say to your master, thus saith the Lord, be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land.
I'm going to kill Sennacherib. I'm going to kill him. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warned against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. And when he heard say of Tirhakah, king of Ethiopia, behold, he has come out to fight against thee, he sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, thus shall you speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, let not thy God in whom thy trust deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all lands, by destroying them utterly, and shalt thou be delivered? Have the gods of the nations delivered them which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and Rezeph, and the children of Eden which were in Thalasar? Where is the king of Hamath, and the king of Arpad, and the king of the city of Seraphim, of Hebna, and Iva? And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers, and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Lord, and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord, and said, O Lord God of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth, that hast made heaven and earth. Lord, bow down thy ear and hear. Open, Lord, thy eyes and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which have sent him to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have destroyed the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore, they have destroyed them.
The gods of the nations are man-made. Go ahead.
Now, therefore, O Lord our God, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord God, even thou only. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Israel, I have heard.
Go ahead.
This is the word that the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, have despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. And the daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thy eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel?
Right, go ahead.
By thy messengers thou hast reproached the Lord, and hast said with the multitude of my chariots, I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the lodgings of his borders, and unto the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers of besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient time that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass, that thou shouldest be to lay waste fenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me.
Speaking against Assyria, he's saying how I raised you up, and I'm the one that's responsible for you being able to conquer and take all these lands and take over these rivers and streams. I'm the reason behind that. But Assyria started filling themselves. Assyria got arrogant. Go ahead.
Because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up unto my ears. Therefore I will put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest.
You come against Judah, I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna hook you right back, send you back to your own land. Go ahead.
And this, verse 29, and this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things as grow of themselves. And in the second year, that which springeth of the same, in the third year ye shall sow it, and reap and plant vineyards, and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion, the zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into the city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that which he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into the city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it, for my own sake, and for my servant David's sake.
So for David's sake, the Lord said, I'm not going to allow Assyria to come in here and conquer anything at all. They won't even set foot in the gates. Go ahead.
Not even shoot an arrow.
Right, they're not going to do nothing to you. They're not going to be able to do anything to you. They will not be able to do anything to you, is what he's saying. Go ahead.
Verse 35. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000.
An angel is an angel. That's one. The angel of the Lord went out, won out, and smote in the camp of the Assyrians that came out against us. This is 185,000. An angel came out and killed 185,000 men. One angel did that. Go ahead.
And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses.
So whoever was not killed, they woke up and 185,000 of their men were dead by the morning. So he went through the camp. You gotta understand, the angel was killing these men while they're sleeping. So he's killing them in the midst of other soldiers that are sleeping. So when they all woke up in the morning, whoever survived that slaughter, they woke up to 185,000 dead bodies. Go ahead.
So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed
So Sennacherib is there. He's like, let's get out of here. Go ahead.
and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh.
He went back home like the God said he would. Go ahead.
And it came to pass as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god.
Wait. What verse is that? 36?
37.
No, go 36. That's what I want. 36. Nineveh. So Sennacherib went home and dwelt at Nineveh, right? Stop there. Get me Nelson's Bible.
Hey, you know what that shows, Dick?
Page 133.
Like Romans 15:4 says, whatever was reading aforetime was reading for our learning.
Yeah.
And that shows right now Israel that, what Esau is praying to do right now with that, was a vaccine.
The vaccine thing.
Right. So this is what we got to do. We got to turn back unto the Lord and cry unto him.
Right.
So that's right. So he could help us out. And that's exactly what he did for our forefathers.
Yeah.
So that's what we got to do. We got to return back unto the Lord and pray and cry unto him so that whatever Esau decided, evilly he plans to do against us, it doesn't work.
So we got to pray from the same. Just one angel. Just one.
Just one.
One angel killed 185,000 men. And killed them in a way where he did it. It was a stealth kill.
Right.
Because you got other men that weren't killed that woke up to dead bodies. Sennacherib included.
Right.
Him too. He woke up. 185,000 of his men are dead.
Right.
Now imagine when Christ come back with over millions of angels.
I don't think he even need that many.
Man, I know. I'm just
He
saying.
just bring it just for fun, just to watch.
Hey, remember, he sent one angel to kill in Jerusalem.
Correct. Correct. Yep.
Yeah. That's all. That's it.
There's one. Go to page 133 now. We'll start at 2 Kings. Wait. Yeah, 2 Kings and page 133. Now, if you look, I'm sorry, matter of fact, if you can, real quick, go up real fast, go up. No, I mean down, bring it down. You see the list of kings there? You see Shalmaneser V. That's when they conquered another kingdom one last time. Tiglath-Pileser, Shalmaneser, and you have Sargon. So the father, Sennacherib, I believe, is the grandson of Sargon. Sennacherib is the grandson of Sargon II. So all the children after Sargon are considered to be the Sargonid dynasty. Sargonid dynasty. All right? Well, Sennacherib, I believe, is his grandson, I believe. Grandson, yes. So now, read 2 Kings 18.
2 Kings 18, chapter 18, verses 17 to 37. Describes the campaign by the Assyrian king Sennacherib, 705 to 681 BC.
That's the date. Go ahead.
The less capable son of Sargon II, Hezekiah of Judah, had joined with Tyre and Egypt in an alliance against Assyria.
Hezekiah tried to use Egypt to make an alliance against the Assyrians, and that didn't work out. It said if you use Egypt to help you, that's like hurting yourself. We're going to conquer them and conquer you. And the Ethiopian king said, listen, man, you playing games. You better serve Assyria before you put his foot in your behind. Go ahead.
2 Chronicles chapter 32, verses 1 to 8. Sennacherib in 701 BC proceeded to put down this revolt and move against the cities of Judah.
Go down. Assyrian campaigns against
Israel and Judah. From 734 BC to 732 BC, Tiglath-Pileser III mounted one invasion against Judah and two against Israel.
Right, so you had Judah and Ephraim, primarily Ephraim being taken captive and placed in foreign lands by the Assyrians. Judah was caught up in that too. Southern Kingdom was caught up in that deportation as well. Not as many as Northern Kingdom, but you have remnants of, remember, Ephraim and Judah, some of the tribes shared land. Like Simeon resided in Judah's land. So when they came against Simeon, they took Judah too. Okay? Remember, it says that during Hezekiah's reign, the Assyrian king had conquered some Judah towns. Okay, what do you do with Judah? You put them in different lands. All right? And you see the invasions in that map right there. Go to page 132. We're going to read the Sennacherib's prism. On page 132. Load up some. Yep.
Sennacherib's prism. The monument known as Sennacherib's prism is a fascinating artifact from Assyria's past. It gives a different account from the Bible about an important event in Israel's history, a siege against Jerusalem conducted by King Sennacherib of Assyria, ruled 705 to 681 BC. About 690 BC, Isaiah 36, chapter 36 and 37.
Right.
The 15-inch high clay prism contains well-preserved Assyrian script that verifies the attack on Jerusalem and King Hezekiah of Judah by Assyrian forces. As to Hezekiah, the Jew, he did not submit to my yoke. The prism reads.
See that? So he wrote, Hezekiah rebelled against me. That's in there pressing this prism. This prism proves that the Bible's account is true. It's not fairy tale. This is historically documented in the Sennacherib prism. Go ahead.
I laid siege to 46 of his strong cities.
I laid siege to 46 of his strong cities as Judah cities. Go ahead.
Walled forts and to countless small cities in their vicinity and conquered them. Hezekiah, I made a prisoner in Jerusalem. His royal residence like a bird in a cage.
I had Hezekiah trapped up.
Oh, he talking
mess,
He
yeah.
talking crap.
He's just talking mess, yeah.
The hell is this?
While Sennacherib's siege against Jerusalem is a verified historical fact.
Read it again.
While Sennacherib's siege against Jerusalem is a verified historical fact.
Bible is a historical fact. Go ahead.
It is interesting that Sennacherib's account does not mention how the siege ended. He
ain't writing that down. He ain't write down that an angel came and killed 185,000 of his men.
Hey, look, don't put that down.
Don't put that down. Watch this.
This leads to suspicion among historians that the siege failed, since the Assyrian never mentioned their defeats in their official records.
Only
their victories.
They don't write down their failures. They write down their successes. Go ahead.
The biblical account.
Success. Go ahead.
The biblical account indicates that Sennacherib suffered a crushing defeat in his siege of Jerusalem because of divine intervention.
God. Go ahead.
That's right.
During the night, thousands of soldiers in the Assyrian army died through the action of the angel of the Lord. 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 35.
Yep.
Some scholars believe God used a deadly plague as an instrument of judgment against the enemies of his people.
Either or, he killed 185,000 of his men.
Don't worry about it.
It don't matter how, they're dead. Go ahead.
Rulers of the ancient world used monuments such as this prism on which to record their exploits. These documents of stone and clay have survived for centuries in the rubble and ruin of ancient cities.
Assyria, go ahead.
They provide valuable insight into life in Bible times, confirming and in many cases adding value information about biblical events.
Adding valuable information about biblical events.
The Bible is a real book.
The Bible is a real book.
That's
That's
it.
exactly
That's
what we're reading.
Yep.
All right, so now let's go to...
And that also proved with the Kemet community, when they be asking, what's the proof? What's the proof?
Right.
They didn't put their defeat.
Right.
They only put their what they succeed on.
Right. Get 2 Kings 19. Let's go back there again. 36.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 19, verse 36. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt in Nineveh.
After that defeat, whether by plague or not, after he lost 185,000 of his men trying to besiege Judah, he went home. God said, "You, the same place you came from, you're going to return home." That's what the Lord said before this took place. So hold that. Let's get Tobit 1.
I'm on it, Deacon.
So Sennacherib, huh?
No, I say I'm on it.
Oh, Tobit 1 and 1, yep. Let's see what so Sennacherib obviously got defeated by this siege. Keep that in mind.
The book of Tobit, chapter 1.
In verse 1, we're going to read all the way to verse 18.
Verse 1. The book of the words of Tobit, son of Tobiel, the son of Aniel, the son of Aduel, the son of Gabiel, of the seed of Aziel, of the tribe of Naphtali,
Tobit was Naphtali. Go ahead.
who in the time of Enamanasseh,
Enamasser is Shalmaneser the fifth. Enamasser is Shalmaneser the fifth. That's the Greek form of his name, made English. Go ahead.
king of the Assyrians, was led captive out of Thesbe, which is at the right hand of that city, which is called properly Naphtali in Galilee above Asher.
The landmasses all next to all in close proximity. Go ahead.
I, Tobit, had walked all the days of my life in the way of truth and justice, and I did many alms deeds to my brethren and my nation, who came with me to Nineveh and to the land of the Assyrians.
Right, the northern kingdom got conquered by Shalmaneser the fifth. Go ahead. He was part of that conquest. He was taken in that wave. Go ahead.
And
But he was one of the righteous northern kingdom. Remember I said before, not all Ephraim went the hell off. You had remnants of Ephraim that maintained righteous loyalty to the Lord. Tobit being one of them. Jonah being one of them. Okay, go ahead.
And when I was in my own country, in the land of Israel, being but young, all the tribe of Naphtali, my father fell from the house of Jerusalem,
Went the hell off. Go ahead.
which was chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, that all the tribes should sacrifice there, where the temple of the habitation of the Most High was.
Right. Job understood that the place of sacrifice was the temple. Remember, Jeroboam set up those idols, and so Ephraim started sacrificing to those instead rather than go to Jerusalem. Tobit was like, nah, I'm going to Jerusalem. That's evil as hell. Go ahead.
Was consecrated and built for all ages.
Go ahead.
Now, all the tribes which together revolted
Northern kingdom, go ahead.
in the house of my father Naphtali sacrificed unto the heifer Baal.
Right, that Jeroboam set up. Go ahead.
But I alone went often to Jerusalem at the
I
feast.
alone. Tobit said, I'm not doing that. I alone did what?
But I alone went often to Jerusalem at the feast, as it was ordained unto all the people of Israel by an everlasting decree, having the first fruits and tenths of increase with that which was first shorn. And them gave I at the altar to the priests, the children of Aaron.
He wasn't sacrificed at the temple. Go ahead.
The first tenth part of all increase I gave to the sons of Aaron, who ministered at Jerusalem. Another tenth part I sold away, and went and spent it every year at Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And the third I gave unto them to whom it was meet, as Deborah, my father's mother, had commanded me.
Deborah, his father's mother had commanded him. So he maintained righteousness because his grandmother commanded him to. Go ahead.
Because I was left an orphan by my father.
His father was no damn good. His father abandoned him. Deadbeat. So his grandmother raised him righteously.
So it was
So there are
that.
instances where sisters did raise their sons right.
Right. Was that due to the fall away, to
Yeah, it was due to the
separation?
fall away,
So his
yeah.
father fell out, and he stayed in the truth.
Stay with his grandmother, right?
Yep.
His father went the hell off into idolatry. The grandmother was like, "Nah, I'll take you. I'll raise you." Go ahead.
Furthermore, when I was come to the age of a man, I married Anna of my own kindred,
Stuck to his own race too. Go ahead.
and of her I begat Tobias.
Yeah, Tobias Jr. Yeah, Tobias Jr. pretty much. Go ahead.
And when we were carried away captives to Nineveh, all my brethren and those that were of my kindred did eat of the bread of the Gentiles.
So we got taken captive and we ate the bread of the Gentiles. Go ahead.
But I kept myself from eating,
I didn't eat that stuff. Go ahead.
because I remembered God with all my heart. And the Most High gave me grace and favor before Enemessar, so that I was his purveyor.
He was the king's purveyor. Let's look up that word real quick, purveyor. See what that word means? So he worked for Shalmaneser. Because he was righteous, the Lord put him in favor and grace in the sight of Shalmaneser. And he ended up getting a job. He gave him a job.
Good job, too. The Bible says a buyer.
Yeah, mine says buyer as well.
So he was the inventory.
I believe so, yes. You see what it says there? What it say?
Blow it up for me. Purveyor. A person who sells or deals in particular goods. A purveyor of large luxury vehicles. A person or group that spreads or promotes an ideal view.
So he goes out and buys things for the king. That's what he does. He's a purveyor.
We get some synonyms here.
Buyer.
Sells.
A seller, a vendor, trader, retailer, supplier, provider. So he's like the merchant.
Right, he's a merchant for the king of Assyria. He was a merchant man, a merchant. All right, so obviously he was good at what he did. For him to be given that position, he was obviously good at what he did. So he was a king's buyer, king's purveyor, his vendor, his retailer, and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And I went into Media.
You went where?
Into Media.
You went into Media. Go ahead. Remember Northern Kingdom, a lot of us were sent over there. The Assyrians placed us in there, in that land, Media. Go ahead. Lands of the Medes. Go ahead.
And left in trust with Gabriel, the brother of Gabrias, at Rages, a city of Media, 10 talents of silver.
So he left money with a brother back in Media. Go ahead.
Now, when Enemessar,
In a place called, it says in Rages, left money, 10 talents of silver with a brother that back in Rages, city of Media. Go ahead.
Now, when Enemessar was dead,
And the messenger Shalmaneser V died. Go ahead.
Sennacherib, his son, reigned in his stead,
Sennacherib, his son, who is his son, reigned in his stead. Took over. Sennacherib, go ahead.
whose estate was troubled, that I could not go into Media.
Right. He couldn't go, so he couldn't return back to Media. Go ahead.
And in the time of Enemessar, I gave many alms to my brethren, and gave my bread to the hungry.
So while Shalmaneser while he worked for Shalmaneser when he was alive, he made good money, and he would help out his people because he made good money because our people were poor in captivity. So he would assist them, help them. Go ahead.
And my clothes to the naked. And if I saw any of my nation dead or cast about the walls of Nineveh, I buried him.
So what Syrians were very, very cruel. I showed you that earlier. They were very cruel. They would throw us off the walls and leave our bodies to lay there for the birds to feast on. So so keep this in mind. We were thrown off the walls of Assyria. They had castles. They had high walls. He would bring us up there and throw us off. Now watch this. Read.
Verse 18. And if the king Sennacherib has slain any.
If who?
If the king Sennacherib have slain any.
Sennacherib was the one that came after Shalmaneser. He was the one that was throwing us off the walls. Watch. Read.
When he was come and fled from Judea.
When he did what?
When he was come and fled from Judea.
When he fled from why did he flee from Judea? Because the angel came and killed his men. So he returned home.
He was pissed.
Defeated. He returned home defeated. Watch this.
I buried them privily.
So Tobit would find the bodies thrown up from over the wall. He would bury them secretly. Go ahead.
For in his wrath he killed many.
For in his wrath from that defeat of Judea that he didn't document in that prison, he killed Northern Kingdom. He took it out on Northern Kingdom and was killing them and just throwing bodies off the walls.
Came back snapping.
Came back. He flipped out. He was mad because the Syrians are very prideful. So this defeat was crushing to him. He was so mad he would turn home and start killing Ephraim.
Yeah, remember how he was bragging?
Yep, talk all that mess. I'm gonna talk to y'all who eat your own dung and drink your own piss. He was talking crazy.
Right.
Like they're the nation and their guys could.
I smashed them.
Yep.
I took their land. So what's your God to me? What's their gods for them? Then the Lord said, I got something for you. Go get that one angel, come down there and handle them dudes. So he came back pissed off. Go ahead.
But the bodies were not found.
So he would throw the bodies off the walls, leave the bodies to lay there. And the rot, obviously rot in the sun. Tobit didn't like that. He's seeing his own people laying there dead. We're talking about men, women, children. He didn't give a damn. So Tobit, seeing that, Tobit was like, nah, I'm going to bury them. This is not right. So he would secretly bury them. Go ahead.
When they were sought for of the king.
So the king's like, yo, where the bodies at? I'm throwing people off the walls, and the bodies is vanishing. Where the bodies at?
Damn.
So as soon as the bodies dropping, Tobit right there to slide them off. And
Right,
bury 'em.
because remember, when you read about the Assyrians, they would impale people and let the bodies just sit there on display. The Assyrians believed in killing and leaving the bodies for display. Wow. So he goes to find the bodies are not there. So where the bodies at? Go ahead.
And when one of the Ninevites went and complained to me to the king.
Oh, so the Ninevite was watching him do it. Remember, he was in good standing with the Assyrians. He did a good job.
Right.
So the Assyrians was like, oh, this dude's burying the bodies. He peeped it. Go ahead.
That I buried them and hid myself, understanding that I was sought for to be put to death. I withdrew myself for fear.
I ran away. So when I realized it was known that I was hiding bodies, and I got discovered. I ran up. There was a warrant out for my arrest to be killed. Go ahead.
Then all my goods were forcibly taken away.
So they went. Obviously, knew where he lived. They confiscated all his goods. Sennacherib. Go ahead.
Neither was there any king. I'm sorry.
Neither. What verse we in?
Verse 20.
Wait. I think I'm going too far. Where did I say stop at?
18.
Come on, you gotta stop me, man. 18, you gotta stop me, man. I'm gonna go too far.
This history too good, D.
Just stop at 18. Stop at 18.
I'm sorry, D. I'm sorry.
Stop at 18, man.
Hey, but you know what this goes to show?
But no. Okay, no. We can stop at 19 to 21. Stop at 22. Okay, we're doing good. Stop at 22. Stop at 22.
Sorry.
I just want to make sure I'm not going too fast. I don't lose. I don't want to forget any points. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
What are you saying?
No, I'm saying this goes to show that the Apocrypha is canon with the Bible.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna prove that. Yes, definitely.
Oh,
yeah. It's definitely canon. We're gonna get that in a few moments. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And when one of the Ninevites went and complained of me to the king, that I buried them, and hid myself, understanding that I was sought for to be put to death, I withdrew myself for fear. Mm-hmm. Then all my goods were forcibly taken away.
Confiscated.
Neither was there anything left me.
I lost everything. Go ahead.
Beside my wife Anna, my son
and
Tobias.
They took his wife and son from him. He lost those things, and beside that, his wife and son were taken from him too. Go ahead.
And there passed not 50 days before two of his sons killed him.
Before two of his sons, Sennacherib's sons, killed him. Go ahead.
And
there passed not 55 days. So after 55 days later, his sons went and they killed him. Sennacherib, go ahead.
And they fled into the mountains of
Ararat.
And
Sarchedonus,
his son, reigned in his stead.
Sarchedonus, we're going to find Sarchedonus to find out who that is in a minute.
Who appointed over his father's accounts and over all his affairs.
So his son Sarchedonus reigned in Sennacherib's stead. That's his actual son. He reigned in his stead. Sarchedonus. That's a Greek form of his name. Go ahead. Who appointed over his father's what?
Affairs.
Accounts.
Go
ahead.
And over all his affairs.
Achiacharus,
my brother, Aniel's son.
So Achiacharus, my brother, Aniel's son, his nephew. So his son, Sennacherib's son, Sarchedonus, appointed his nephew over his accounts. So his nephew became Sarchedonus' accountant over all his affairs. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And Achiacharus, entreating for me.
So his nephew looked out for him. Go ahead.
I returned to Nineveh.
He was able to return back home. Go ahead.
Now Achiacharus was cupbearer.
So he was a king. He had a status. His nephew gained status. Go ahead. King's cupbearer. Go ahead.
And keeper of the signet.
And he was the one that signed off on the king's things. If the king wanted something done, he had the king's seal, signet. Go ahead.
And steward.
And he was the king's steward. His nephew was very, very wise. He had status. Go ahead.
And overseer of the accounts.
Damn, see?
And Sarchedonus appointed him next unto him.
So he was like his right-hand man. Go ahead.
And he was my brother's son.
And he was my nephew. He was my brother's son. So he looked out for me. Remember, he was on the run from Sarchedonus' father. But his nephew said, nah, man, he's dead now. Let's put that behind us. Let's move on. So he got basically he got Tobit off. He basically got the charges dropped
Right.
off of Tobit. That's what he did. His nephew looked out for him. See, our forefathers, when they gained status, they looked out for their own. Not these stupid ass niggas today go out and buy a freaking a diamond and put it in their forehead like a nigga version of Vision from Avengers. You can't make this up, man. Damn nigga Vision. You can't make it up.
Oh, $65 million jet.
Right, or a $65 million jet, or they go and they fund Israeli dating service.
Damn.
Lil Yachty went and donated millions of dollars for Israelis to get married, to hook up and find the spouses and so forth. You can these niggas get money and just squander. They just speaking this. Just get rid of it. Just throw it away on nonsense.
Guys are retarded.
Give it right back to the enemies.
Or go
Get right back to the enemies. Exactly.
go on live and show all 24 of your watches.
Right. Exactly.
What's the point of that?
25 watches. They walking around like this. It's the money.
Right.
I want money. Guy retarded, man.
Don't make no sense, man.
What you saying, officer? You say something? Officer?
No.
Oh.
No, sir.
All right, so now let's get, so it says 2 of his sons, Sennacherib's sons, basically went, and 55 days later, they went and they killed him, right? So now let's go back, let's get, real quick, Lost Tribes, a myth. Lost Tribes, let's get that book real fast. And we're gonna read page 287.
It show you how he was helping his own people, and the Most High looked out.
That's right. The Lord looked out for him. Yep. The Most High looked out for him. When Tobit had his status, looked out for his people, buried him and all of that. And when his nephew followed in his footsteps, and his nephew got status, looked out for his uncle. That's how our forefathers were. Negroes today, you're like a shell of your former selves.
Yeah, you get yours, I got mine.
Yeah, exactly. Dog eat dog world. Dog eat dog world, whatever. There's a 287, I said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're gonna start at Give me a moment.
And you know what's crazy too, Deacon?
Yeah, but start going it. What I underlined. Yes.
A lot of our people that's rich and wealthy like that, they don't seem to leave generational wealth.
You do
when
not.
When they die, all that money is gone.
It's gone.
Either they debt, a whole bunch of debt, mentions that they had they couldn't afford. It never grows to generational wealth where 5-6 generation can profit off of that money.
Right, it's frivolous spending.
Damn.
There's only one dude I know. There's actually a few. Shaq. It's a play that video real fast. There's a video of Shaq. He explains how he spoke to a wealthy man. Just type in Shaq's advice on money.
I think I heard that.
I think that video is bad. He explains what Esau does when they're wealthy. See, it's like a really short clip. He explains Shaq gives money advice. He actually had a conversation with a wealthy Edomite.
That's heavy because you don't never see Esau in the baddest cars. They riding around with a '99 Toyota Corolla.
Right.
With a nice house.
It's very short. It's like a TikTok video. It's very short.
But you gotta understand too, man. Esau is nasty as hell.
Let me look for it. Y'all can talk. Let me look for it. Y'all can
Can't
talk.
be like, you know what I'm saying? Won't take a shower for 2 weeks.
Yeah, they,
You know what I'm saying?
There was an article on Ashton Kutcher.
yes, I seen that.
His wife said that they don't wash, that they don't have to, and that he'll daily wash his genitals and underarms. Everything else he just lets it this.
The baby too.
They don't wash. And their kid. He goes, why? What for? They're not dirty. I'm not gonna wash them.
They say they don't wash the baby neck. You know, when the baby throw up or whatever. They don't believe it.
You know how smelly that thing is, man?
Listen,
Damn.
Esau, they'll reveal how nasty they are. And certain things they say, you like, they really do that? Right. There's a little dumb stuff they do on TikTok, and they'll put the camera on somebody. He say, hey, that's the guy that don't spread his cheeks and let the water run through.
Oh, man.
And they actually do that. He just said he just washed his genitals. So his rear end smells, bro.
And Esau have no shame in saying that. They'll come out and just say, look, this is how we live. This is it.
Right.
Hey, there was a story with in Brooklyn with a so-called Jew that was living in his car. He had basically most of his possession in the car. When he died, They investigated him. Dude had like over $5 million in the bank.
Damn.
Sleeping in the car with all his belongings.
Damn.
Died in the car, and this dude was a millionaire.
Damn.
It's crazy, man.
They don't have nothing to prove. That's why. Like Jake, when we get money, we act like we have something to prove. They don't have nothing to prove.
Nah, bro, we're just not nasty, bro. That's it. You know, understand,
Yo,
man? It's in our lineage, man.
Yeah,
we
fresh.
kings and priests.
Bro,
You know
Jake
what I'm
get money,
saying?
we flossing. That's it.
Yeah,
bro.
and see, and it's kind of a downfall too. You know what I'm saying? We've been through so much. We've been put down so much. When we have a little bit of money, we feel important. We got to buy the most expensive things.
Thanks, Hezron. Thank you, soldier. Appreciate it. This is right. I'm gonna
Like we say, we overspend it, you know. But at least Jake, man, we look good.
And the thing is, once we do get money, like Officer Haynes was just bringing out, we feel though we came up in status in society.
Right.
So we forget about our own people. We even go to as far as interracial marriage.
Right, right.
You know.
Right.
I sent you. It's in a group. me.
It's like, yeah, I made it.
Right. I made it.
He had a conversation with a wealthy man. He says, "This is good stuff." What he says, and he owns J.C. Penney. Shaq owns J.C. Penney. He owns Marilyn Monroe. He owns I think the Beatles or something. He owns like all these different things.
I think he owns parts of Papa John's too.
He owns a lot of stuff. He owns a lot of stuff. Like it's his. He owns it now. Wait, let's play. It's very short, right? How long is it? 1 minute. That's it. This is it. Go ahead.
He told me. He said,
Rewind it. As far as it goes, he told me. Rewind it.
He told me. He said,
Yeah, the wealthy man he
"You're
spoke to.
rich, but I'm wealthy."
He said, "You're rich, but I'm wealthy."
Because I didn't know the difference.
Yep.
And I said, "What's the difference?" He said, "Well, wealthy is when I'm die, when my kids die, when their kids die, when their kids die, we're still gonna have the same amount."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that. Then I said, "Okay, how you do it?" And he pulled out a piece of paper. After he said, "It ain't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep." How many times we seen cats would get the bag with 100 and then they go blow it the same day. Now they got to get another 100. So he said, if you got $100, you save that. That's 50.
Yep.
He said, rich people will say, okay, I'm saving 50 and I'm doing that. But he said, the wealthy does this. You save that. This, ball out. House, chain, car, whatever you want. But
75.
Save it, yeah.
Save it.
Yep.
So he said, "Damn, wealthy.
That's a jewel.
They spend 25
Yep.
and save 75. Dumb niggas spend 75 and spend 75 and keep 25,
Or they'll spend the 25.
or spend the whole damn 100%.
And that's what he said.
And then
He said they said 100, and then now they have to go get another.
and get another 100. Right?
But-
He spend the whole thing.
And catch a court case, having to pay that little 25, use that for bail.
Right, or
And they gotta borrow money.
or end up in debt, and they end up and they're in debt, and so because of that, they pretty much their home is not theirs. It's all pretty much owned by the label. So they're like a slave.
Right.
Yeah,
Nothing is theirs.
And majority of the time, that's why they have to sell their soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't really come out and say what they really want to say.
Right.
So they got to retract exactly their real feelings. Because now it'd be like, yo, remember you owe me? So keep your mouth shut.
That's heavy because T-Pain said that. T-Pain came out and said
He went bankrupt, that dude.
T-Pain. So yeah,
Over
so
stupid investments.
he said that. Look, the record labels. He said they'll give you a $10 million check, but you got to make that back. He said a lot of, in fact, he said a lot of the guys they go spend that money, but the people that the record label that gave you that money, they want you to make that money back. So they become in debt because they can't make it
Record
back.
labels are banks.
It's a credit.
They're bank. It's credit.
So
right.
once you cannot make it, now all of a sudden, now all your records, your albums,
Yep.
everything.
own it.
They own it.
They own it. They
They
own you.
own it. They own you. What's that ball player? His football player? Something. What's his name? Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
Yeah.
That dude didn't touch his money. They said he was cheap.
Yeah, I
They said he was a
heard about that.
niggard. Not nigger. Niggered. He was very a miser. So he would go to a restaurant and he'll make his boys pay. He's like, yo, man, you freaking rich. You want us to buy you a food? He's like, yeah, you buy me. You brought me here. Buy me something to eat. Because he was cheap. The money he got, I think he got his I think endorsement money. I think he would say, I think he spent that or something he did. The dude is wealthy. He's buying like land in black communities and so forth. He's doing what Tobit did.
Right.
Looking out for Marshawn Lynch. He would talk reckless too. Like he would say that they would interview him. He would go, "Yep, nope." They hated him. They said, "How you feel?" Like he would just say something real like slick or something, whatever. But he could because he had money.
Right.
He just saved it.
And I think the reason he was like that because he said something and the media flipped it against him.
Yeah, but he didn't get.
Right, and then he don't do no interview. Then they fine him.
Right. So he didn't. He did interviews.
Right. So it's like, okay, oh, you want me to do interview? Okay. Since you're gonna fire me, I don't want to be fined.
Right.
I'm going to interview. So he goes to the interview. So what? Yep.
You matter of fact, get it.
Nope.
Get it.
Yeah, that was a basketball player.
No,
Right.
it's a football player.
Football player.
Get a
So
Marshawn Lynch interview.
So
It's
every time they ask him a question, but he's there. He's at the interview. You cannot say he was not present.
Just put Marshawn Lynch funny moments. Marshawn Lynch interview.
But you
funny
ask him a
moments.
question. Yep.
I just seen a
Nope.
video with him and
Nope.
the other team player. He asked him. He said, "Yo, what you doing for Christmas?" He said, "Man, I got to get to Thanksgiving first." He said, "But I'm gonna." He said, "Well, I'm going back to the hood to give out turkeys."
Yeah. There's one guy, I think, there's a ball player. The guy's name, I think it's Ocho Cinco. I'm not sure. He said all that stuff you see us wear, that the diamonds and all he said that stuff isn't real. Those aren't real diamonds. That's fake. It's all rental. None of that's mine. He goes, listen, I'm not buying that. But people look at us and think, oh, we're supposed to buy that stuff because they see us wearing it. He goes, none of that stuff was real, and none of that stuff is mine. It was fake. It was rental. Rental, not real diamonds. It was cubic zirconium. But it looked, you see it. It's all shiny.
Right.
The gold, the stuff is silver. It's basically gold painted silver. But press play, I think this is it.
And a lot of times, too, Dick, those companies that make those things will give it to the athletes for them to wear to
Right,
model
to
it.
endorse them, right.
To endorse it. Yeah.
Right.
Or
Go
to
ahead.
rent it.
Go ahead. Right, it's rental. Right, go ahead.
Smooth. You look good. You do too. You all right? Man, I'm smooth. I like when you got off the plane with the beast mode and everything. It look like you ready to play, man. Yep, that's what time it is. You kind of shy. Nah. You just don't want to talk, really. I'm just about that action, boss. You about to go get it. You just like to do it. That's what it is. I ain't never seen no talking with me nothing. Yeah.
Only talk to a white guy. He's cool with him.
Like that since I was
When he's
little.
around Edomites.
Yeah, let's
raised like
find
that.
one way he's
He's around
sitting down.
Edomites. He's sitting down.
Yeah.
You excited about the game? Hell yeah.
The find one way.
He's
You don't
talking-
mind. I think that might be one. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. There you go.
There you go.
Go back some.
Bring
Go
it
back.
back a little
Hold
bit.
on 1 second, y'all.
Hold on, real quick.
All right. I got you, Tatum.
How about the effort of the offensive line just to keep pounding it against such a tough defense today?
Yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all.
All right, how about the effort of the offensive line to keep pushing against a defense that attacks so aggressively?
Yeah.
How does that defense compare to others that you've seen this year?
Yeah.
Marshall, you were on the sidelines for a little bit there. What was going on? Was the back all right? Obviously, you got back in there.
Yeah.
How important was it to keep the ball on the ground and run out the clock, especially in the fourth quarter when you know this team is so good in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yo, you can watch this guy all day.
Yo, it's hilarious, man.
Listen, they fined him because he didn't want to interview.
So after that, he started doing that.
He started doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to y'all. Yeah.
The Jake, you see, he's talking. Yo, what's up, man? But Edom, he's like, yeah. It's hilarious.
That's crazy, man. They fine you. That lets you know you a slave, man. How you get fined for not? I don't want to speak.
That was a good interview too. You see the one with the glasses? Y'all just go back real quick.
Go back.
That dude was funny.
Go ahead, right here. Let me see if it's that one. No, that's the article.
Oh, spend a penny. Whoa. Has it spent? See this? That's what you're talking about.
That's it. He has to spend a penny of what?
$49.7 million
In salary he has made in his NFL career. He did not touch $49.7 million in his salary at all. He didn't touch a penny of it.
And that's what Esau want to know. They want to know where your mind at, where they could infiltrate you. What's your take? What do we get him to spend on?
In 9 years.
And the answer is,
He has to spend
yeah. That's the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. If you don't got the video, you can move on. Dude.
That's all I want. That's good. So just go to that page now, 287. But Sargonid deportees. So start there. Watch this. So remember, we read that the northern kingdom was taken captive, placed in Nineveh and so forth, right? Keep that in mind. And placed in the cities of the Medes. Watch. Read that.
What's going on? Blow it up. But Sargonid,
Right there. Well underlined. Yep.
deportees may have been on the northern trade route from the Black Sea to the Far East nearly 100 years earlier.
So, but Sargonid deportees, that goes for heathens as well as northern kingdom, because the Assyrians deported everybody who they conquered. So that goes to northern kingdom as well. Sargonid means Sargon and his children after him. Deportees may have what?
Deportees may have been on the northern trade route from the Black Sea to the Far East.
From the Black Sea, meaning Europe, to the Far East, meaning going back to like Asia, India,
China,
Japan. Watch.
Nearly 100 years earlier, 721 BC.
Where?
In 721 BC. In cities of the Medes.
That'd be upper Iran. Go ahead.
2 Kings chapter 17, verse 6.
Hold on. See if you want to stop there. I don't want to go too far. Wait. Let me see. You're gonna stop that repeatedly. Keep going.
For Medes is a very inclusive term.
Medes is a very inclusive term. Go ahead.
Meaning any Iranic Aryans.
Meaning any Iranic Aryans. Because Medes can go with Persians too. Or Iranians. It's interchangeable. It says Iranic Aryans. You know them white folks were saying, we're the Aryan nation.
Right.
We're Aryan white power.
Damn.
These are not Aryans. The Aryans were the elite Iranians.
Wow.
And they referred to them as Indo-Iranians.
Culture vulture.
So remember it said here earlier, it says Black Sea. Remember, the Europe and the Near East are neighbors. Right. So Esau, when he conquered Europe and so forth and took over that land, he deemed himself an Aryan nation.
Yeah.
As if he's them, as if he's the Persians.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't nothing Aryan, there's nothing Aryan about him. Aryans were the elite Persians.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Chaldeans were the elite Babylonians, the Aryans were the elite Persians. They're not Aryans. They took over that land, but they're not those people. All right, what's going on? What happened?
No.
Oh, the phone? Okay.
Nah, but Dick, he's everything except the devil.
Yeah, exactly. He's everything except the devil.
But the devil.
Last man alive. You know, I said that before.
Like you said, last nigga.
Last nigga. You can't make this up.
That was that was Hitler thing. What the Aryan
Nation. Yeah, that's the Captain America. Make the super soldier. The purest white man, blue eyes, blonde hair is a pure Aryan. Hitler believed in that. He believed in that stuff heavily. The elite, pure Aryan. Captain America is that ideal white man. That's who Captain America represents. That's why he's Captain America. All right? All right. Go ahead, let's read. We're gonna stop at repeatedly.
All right. Medes is a very inclusive term, meaning any Iranic Aryans as far northeast as the Ebers Mountains. The far-off Medes, Elburz Mountains. Mm-hmm. The far-off Medes, whose name no one among the kings my fathers had ever heard.
Right, so they weren't familiar with the Medes. Go ahead.
Right, Sennacherib repeatedly.
Right, Sennacherib. So Sennacherib placed Israel in those lands, but he was unfamiliar. He was unfamiliar with those people that resided there. All right, he said that all the time, and it says the far-off Medes, whose name no one among the kings my fathers have ever heard.
Why would you put them there?
What?
I'm saying you put somebody somewhere that you don't even know.
Yeah, he just put them there because they had that area. They had that area in lock. Who he said basically what he was saying was these Medes that lived there were insignificant. He just put them there, right. Whatever. Who writes Sennacherib repeatedly? Sennacherib. Now, let's go back to where we at? 2 Kings 19 again. I think it was 20. About who was Sarchedonus. Remember, Sarchedonus is Sennacherib's son. 2 Kings, real quick. I think I read by it too fast. 2 Kings 19, and read verse 36 to 38.
2 Kings chapter 19, verse 36. You said 19?
Yeah, hold on. Yep, 19, 36, 37. 19. 2 Kings 19, verse 36 to
37.
Yes. Just finish it up. Finish it up.
All right, 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 36. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed, and went and returned, and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god.
Number 55 days later. Remember that what Tobit said? Go ahead.
That Adramelech and Sharezer, his sons,
his sons, go ahead,
smote him.
They killed him
with the sword,
and
they escaped into the land of Armenia.
Armenia will be where what's the name is from? The Kardashians. They're from Armenia. That's where their family derives from. That's like the Caucasus Mountains. It's right there. Armenia is right there. Go ahead.
And Asaradon, his son, reigned in his stead.
Asaradon is Sarchedonus in Tobit, the Greek form of his name. Sarchedonus. Asaradon is Sarchedonus. Okay? What's the name? Achaicurus is accountant. That's this guy here. Asaradon, his son, reigned in his stead. Achaicurus became his accountant over his signet, over his affairs, and got the charges dropped off of Tobit. So Achaicurus worked for Asaradon in Tobit. It's the same guy, same person. Now, real quick, let's get Second Chronicles 32:21. Because that crushing defeat of Sennacherib is written with so, I guess our forefathers found that victory to be so, I guess, glorious. It's repeated over and over again. So 2 Chronicles 32:21.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 32.
So that's the one that he didn't write down, right?
Yeah, Sennacherib was an a-hole. I think our forefathers were happy, really happy he got killed. Because we write it over and over again. You'll see. Watch.
2 Kings, chapter 32, verse 21.
Yeah.
And the Lord sent an angel, which cut off all the mighty men of valor, and the leaders and captains in the camp of the king of Assyria.
Sennacherib, go ahead.
So he returned with shame of face to his own land.
And out of anger, he went and started killing northern kingdom, throwing them off the walls. And while Tobit buried them secretly, go ahead.
And when he was come into the house of his God,
to worship, go ahead.
They that came forth of his own bowels slew him there with the sword.
His two sons.
Thus the Lord saved Hezekiah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem from the hand of Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, and from the hand of all other, and guided them on every side.
And looked after us, because Hezekiah was righteous. Now. Give me 2 Maccabees 15:21. 2 Maccabees 15:21.
Second Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 21. Maccabees, seeing the coming of the multitude, and the divers preparations of armor, and the fierceness of the beast, stretched out his hands toward heaven, and called upon the Lord, that worketh wonders, knowing that victory cometh not by arms, but even as it seemeth good to him.
Mm-hmm.
He giveth it to such as are worthy.
Right, the ability to fight, to win. Go ahead.
Therefore in this prayer he said after this manner, O Lord, thou didst send thy angel in the time of Ezekiah, king of Judea.
Hezekiah, go ahead.
And didst slay in the host of Sennacherib 184,500.
Wherefore?
Wherefore now also, O Lord of heaven, send a good angel before us for a fear and dread unto them.
Know what he asked for? He said, send a good angel for us. Why? Because when Israel lost battles, who did he send? Bad ones. Bad ones. That's how we got put to death. He sent bad ones. He put the angels on the enemy side, and they kick our ass. Because gods can only beat gods. So the Lord had to put angels, or power of angels into the heathens to beat us. That's why he said, send a good angel to fight for our battles, to help us, to dwell with us and help us win this battle against this huge multitude, because he fought thousands at a time. Maccabees had like 2,000 men fight against 100,000 people. That's not physical. That's not humanly possible to win like that. There has to be a divine intervention at some point in some way or in fashion for you to be 2,000 men deep, and you're fighting 100,000+ people at one time. That's like one man fighting a stadium full of people, and he wins. Comes out unscathed. That's a setup, bro. That's crazy, man. It's a setup, bro. Get First Maccabees 7:40.
And that's like the same thing like in 1 Kings 22. Who shall go send he had the council with the spirits to go get King Ahab killed, right? Is it
Yeah. The angels. Yeah, it's what the angels.
Right.
In Kings 22.
1 Kings 22, right.
First Maccabees 7:40.
First Maccabees chapter 7, verse 40.
Oh, yeah. That's the evil angels on the left-hand side,
right.
and the good angels on the right.
They said, which one's going to convince him to go? So
It's who's going to be a lying spirit. He said, I'll be one.
Right.
I have an idea. Yeah, First Maccabees 7:40.
First Maccabees chapter 7, verse 40. But Judas pitched in Adasa with 3,000 men.
3,000 men. Go ahead.
And dared he prayed, saying, O Lord, when they that were sent from the king of the Assyrians blasphemed,
Sennacherib, go ahead.
Thy angel went out and smote 185,000 of them.
You keep bringing it up to motivate the people to fight the battles. That the angels will come and defend you. So this is a very, very historical moment in Israel's history. A very historical moment in Israel. So he would always exhort Israel with that history all the time. Now get Hosea 1. Yeah.
Man, could we get when the angels did show up?
Oh, you want to get that? Oh, God. Let's get that. Then where we at? That's in
Second Maccabees.
You want to? Man.
The one with
when the angels come down and fight with us.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, Second Maccabees, what? Oh, man. When they beat Heliodorus' ass, or they fight with Maccabees? That was bad, too.
Fighting with Maccabees.
Okay. Damn, that's
I think it's 5.
That's the one when the arrows was.
Yeah.
You know what that's at? It's in Second Maccabees.
Be careful. It mentions darts.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Oh, gosh.
Get Officer Bro all turned up now.
Bring it out. The ninjas, baby.
Oh, my God.
Don't want to turn him up.
They're doing angelic ninja stars.
Come on, Levi.
Oh. Yeah, come on, yo, listen, bro.
Yo, erase that sound.
Nah,
back.
you gotta erase that, man. Oh, man, don't let Cap get his hand on that thing right there.
Dang.
Gives lightning. Hold on.
Damn, what else?
Yeah, Second Maccabees 10.
Second Maccabees 10.
Some of y'all like, what? If angels fought with Maccabees? Yeah, they did. Second Maccabees 10 and 30.
Second Maccabees, chapter 10, verse 29. But the battle.
This is a battle, I believe, Maccabees is fighting. Hold on.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Second Maccabees, chapter 10, verse 29. But when the battle waxed strong, there appeared unto the enemies from heaven 5 comely men upon horses.
So you had 5 men show up out of nowhere riding horses. Go ahead.
With bridles of gold.
They had on bridles of gold. So the horses, they're riding on the horses is golden bridles. Go ahead.
Damn.
And 2 of them led the Jews.
And 2 of them were in front of the Jews, the army. Go ahead.
And took Maccabeus betwixt them.
So you had 2 in front, and then you had 2 on his sides. That's 5. It was 5 of them. 2 in the front, 2 on the sides. Go ahead.
And covered him on every side.
And you had 1 behind him. That's 5. 1 behind him. Angels, go ahead.
With their weapons.
With their weapons. Watch this.
And kept him safe.
Go ahead.
But shot arrows and lightnings.
They shot what?
Arrows and lightnings.
They were shooting arrows and lightning.
Dick, is that remember that movie? When what's his name?
The Immortals.
The Immortals.
When we pulled that bow.
With that bow and arrow, yeah. That was it, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't lightning, but this is lightning. That was his power.
Hey,
it's something like that. Yeah,
Right,
they were
but-
doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had no arrows. All he had
Yeah,
to
it was like the power from the bow. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Read it again.
said, and took Maccabeus betwixt them.
So 2 angels is 5. 2 are in front of him. Go ahead.
And covered him on every side
2 are beside him, 1 behind him. Go ahead.
with their weapons.
With their own weapons.
And kept him safe. but shot arrows and lightnings.
They were shooting arrows and lightnings. Go ahead.
Against the enemies.
Go ahead.
So that being confounded with blindness.
They're getting blinded by the lightning. Just lightning alone is blinding them and killing them. Go ahead.
And full of trouble, they were killed.
Go ahead. Watch this.
And there were slain of footmen 20,000 and 500 and 600 horsemen.
Damn. So 20,600 people were killed. That's all. That's it. So the angels appeared. 5 angels showed up and killed 26,500 people.
That's what he prayed for.
20,500. No, I'm sorry. 20,500 and 600 men. So 25,500. 20,500. Yeah. 20,500.
Those are
plus,
footmen.
Plus, right. Plus 600. How much is that? How much is that? Wait.
Damn.
See how much that is.
So 31.
Hold on. 20,500 plus 600. There's 21,100. 21,100 people. Got to put the
damn.
21,000 people killed.
That's what he was praying for. That good angel.
Good angel. Praying for that good angel to come down and help him kill people.
See, you see, Israel, we don't need no gun, no weapons.
Right.
to win the battle.
Hosea 1.
We have to have faith in the Most High.
Hosea 1.
I see the dots, man.
Oh, gosh.
Yo.
Yeah, I saw it. I skipped it. I saw it.
I thought he about to have a moment, D.
No, I skipped it. I saw it where it mentions it.
Come on, Deacon, man. Come on, Deacon, man.
No.
Oh,
I ain't got time for that, man. I ain't got time for that today, man. I'd be all confused and scared. Yeah, they were throwing ninja stars. The angels is throwing ninja stars. I'm like,
darts.
Okay. Hosea 1, it's going to be verse 1.
The book of,
We read earlier that the Lord said he would protect Judah for David's sake without neither sword nor spear. We read that earlier, Hosea 1:1.
the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 1. The word of the Lord that came unto Hosea, the son of Beri, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah.
And Hezekiah's time, he was prophesying this.
Kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel. The beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said to Hosea, Go, take unto thee a wife of whoredoms, and children of whoredoms, for the land hath committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord.
Go and get you an idolatrous wife. Go ahead.
So he went.
Northern Kingdom, remember, Northern Kingdom went the hell off. So he said, Hosea was Northern Kingdom. So go get you a wife for Northern. Go get you a wicked-ass wife. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim, which conceived and bare him a son.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto him, Call his name Jezreel.
So the first son, his firstborn's name was Jezreel, which means seed of Israel. Go ahead.
For yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and I will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass.
Jehu's line replaced Ahab's line. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel.
Mm-hmm.
And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And God said unto him, Call her name Larohumah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel.
Right, there's no mercy for Northern Kingdom. Go ahead.
But I will utterly take them away.
Put them in. We're going back to what? Assyrian captivity. Go ahead.
But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah.
But he'll have mercy upon the house of Judah. Why? For David's sake. Go ahead.
And I will save them by the Lord their God.
Watch this.
And will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen.
Right, because the angel came and killed the Assyrians. They didn't need no reason to fight for David's sake. So he defended Judah from Assyria, but not Ephraim. Ephraim was already prophesied to be overthrown and no longer have mercy from the Lord and no longer be his people. So because they were no longer his people, they were referred to by Judah as what? Gentiles. Going back to the New Testament. That's why the reason why the Bible emphasizes so much on the split of the 12 tribes, because the split of the 12 tribes is the whole core of the Bible. That split of the tribes, I'll keep emphasizing this, the split of the tribes is the whole core of the New Testament. The whole core of it. And restoring that divide. So now, give me Isaiah 37, 33. Isaiah 37. What's
The book of Isaiah, chapter 37, verse 33. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into the city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord.
going back to what? Hosea 1, verse 7. Not by sword, nor by might, and so on and so forth. The Lord will defend Judah. Go ahead.
For I would defend this city to save it for my own sake,
There you go.
and for my servant David's sake.
That's why. Go ahead.
Then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000.
Here we go again. Go ahead.
And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses.
Go ahead.
So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer, his son, smote him with the sword. And they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Esarhaddon his son reigned in his stead.
Right. So now, Esarhaddon reigned in his stead. Let's get Ezra chapter 4, verse 1. Esarhaddon reigned in his stead. Ezra 4 and 1.
The book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 1. Now, when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord God of Israel, then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do.
This is the enemies. Watch the heathens. Go ahead.
And we do sacrifice unto him, since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither.
Remember, the heathens, Assyria took Israel out their land and put heathens there, and the heathens would worship their gods in our lands where we were deported from. So he said, we've been here since the time Esarhaddon placed us here. Okay, so these guys are in our land up until the time of the Persian captivity. These guys is in our land. These guys are in our land. So they said, we've been here since the time of Esarhaddon. Keep that in mind. Read the verse 10.
Verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us.
We don't care if you've been there all this time. We don't care if you serve our God and yours along with it, along with them. We don't care. Go ahead.
To build an house unto our God. But we ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel, as King Cyrus the king of Persia have commanded us. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building.
Gave us a hard time. Their whole agenda was to infiltrate and disrupt it. Go ahead.
And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius king of Persia.
The counselors goes back to politicians, passing or having all kind of laws to stop us from building. Go ahead.
And in the reign of Ahasuerus.
In the reign of Ahasuerus, go ahead.
In the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem.
Slander campaign, propaganda against us. Go ahead.
And in the days of Artaxerxes, wrote Bishlam, Mithridath, Tabiel, and the rest of their companions unto Artaxerxes, king of Persia. And the writings of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpreted in the Syrian tongue.
Go ahead.
Reum, the chancellor, and Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes, the king, in this sort.
A petition against us as well. Go ahead.
Then wrote Reum, the chancellor, and Shimshai, the scribe, and the rest of their companions, the Danites, and Apharsashites, the Tiplites, the Apharsites, the Archivites, the Babylonians, the Susanites, the Dahavites, and the Elamites, and the rest of the nations whom the great and noble
and the rest of the nations who what?
Whom the great and noble Asnappar brought over and set in the cities of Samaria, and the rest that are on this side the river, and at such a time.
So, and the rest of the nations whom the great and noble Asnappar brought over. Who was Asnappar? Who was Asnappar? Real quick, let's get First Ezra 559. Go back to page 133 in Nelson's. First Ezra, let me get there. First Ezra 5:59. I'm gonna take a break after this. First Ezra 5:59.
The book of First Ezra, chapter 5, verse 59. And the priests stood arrayed in their vestments, with musical instruments and trumpets. And the Levites, the son of Asaph, had cymbals, singing songs of thanksgiving and praising the Lord according as David, the king of Israel, had ordained. And they sung with loud voices, songs to the praise of the Lord, because his mercy and glory is forever in all Israel. And all the people sounded trumpets and shouted with a loud voice, saying,
They finished building the temple. They were happy. They were celebrating. Go ahead.
Singing songs of thanksgiving unto the Lord for the rearing up of the house of the Lord, also of the priests and Levites, and of the chief of their families.
Excuse me. Would you read that part again, please?
Let me read on. And of the chief of their families. Verse, let me.
That's hatred, bro. Don't do that. Bring out the history, baby.
Verse 63, man.
Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
whatever, man.
All
Also
We don't care. We don't care. So we don't
right.
I don't know why we're doing this.
That's okay. It's the love of the brethren. That's all.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Also of the blank and the
Just
blank.
Just read it very fast. Thank you. Thank you.
And of the chief of their families.
Well, the scripture said that shall not take away.
Word and add, bro. Don't sin like that.
Come on, man. We got to finish the verse, bro.
So read it right.
Also of the priests and the Levites, and of the chief of their families, the ancients who had seen the former house came to the building of this with weeping and great crying. But many with trumpets and joy shouted with loud voice, insomuch that the trumpets might not be heard for the weeping of the people. Yet the multitude sounded marvelously, so that it was heard afar off.
You were celebrating. Go ahead.
Wherefore, when the enemies of the tribe of Judah and Benjamin heard it, they came to know what that noise of trumpets should mean.
You know what this noise for? Go ahead.
And they perceived that they were of the captivity, did build the temple unto the Lord God of Israel.
They tried to stop for so long, we finally completed it. Go ahead.
So they went to Zerubbabel and Jesus.
Yeah, Joshua. Go ahead.
And to the chief of the families.
Because Jesus means Joshua. It's just clear cut. Go ahead.
And said unto them, we will build together with you. For we likewise as ye do obey your Lord, and do sacrifice unto him from the days of
Asbazareth,
the king of the Assyrians who brought us hither.
Asbazareth, the king of the Assyrians who brought us here. So you had Asnepper and Asbazareth. That's his name also. Go ahead.
Then Zerubbabel and Jesus and the chief of the families of Israel said unto them, it is not for us and you to build together an house unto the Lord our God. We ourselves alone will build unto the Lord of Israel, according as Cyrus the king of the Persians have commanded us. But
That's all I want. So Asbazareth, so Asnapper, and you who placed them in that land, or Asbazareth. Who is this? Look on the page right here, page 133. You see the Sargonid family. Sargon, you had Sennacherib, right? Then after Sennacherib, he got put to death by his two sons, and who fled away. Sharazar and Ajamelech, and the one son that took his place was the Saradon, and the Saradon's son's name is Ashurbanipal. Ashurbanipal is Asnapper, Asnapar, or Asbazareth. That's who that is. Ashurbanipal. Real quick, type in.
So he's Azadon grandson? Or
son.
Son.
The son. And Saradon had Ashurbanipal. So type in ASNAPP ER to get the origin of who he is. I had the link, but I think I lost the link on my phone. So just type in Asnapper. Just type in Assyrian. Asnapper, Assyrian. It should come up. Nothing? You spelled it right? ASNAPPER.
Wait, who's back there spelling?
Oh, Lord of mercy. Jeez.
It's Judah.
Can you tell me how you have to play that song?
Yeah, right for him, you don't play it, huh?
Yeah, you don't play it. There you go. Yeah, that's all for you. That song's for you. I don't want that. I want an AS. Is it there? Blow it up some. To show different various names. I don't want that. I want it. See, brother try to be slick.
Yeah, he try to be slick.
I want you to spell what I tell you to spell and put it up there.
There
it
you
should
go.
be there.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
Go back up.
Go up right there.
Right
Click
there.
that.
Yep.
It should say who it is. Blow it up. It should say who that is. That font is crazy. Damn, I can't see none of that.
All right, I'll try to make do. As Napper, whence, okay. The name of an Assyrian king or satrap who is said to have planted colonies, probably from the same distant conquered territory in Samaria, or perhaps other parts of Palestine and Syria.
Ezra 4:10. Right?
Ezra 4:10.
4:10. Mm-hmm.
On the supposition that a king of Assyria is meant, and by comparison with 2 Kings 17:24. Many with grotesque
I want one that says that's who that name is. Go back, go out of that.
Or put who is. Copy that and put who is.
Yeah, try who is, yeah.
Nah, I was going to tell him to put in Asbareth, but that might be a little too...
That's Bazareth? Oh, God, we'll be all night.
We be all night.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, there you go right here.
Yo, y'all off the hook.
There you go. That's it. That should be it. The Jewish encyclopedia. Asaph, what does it say there?
Oh, man. As Snapper, a person who transplanted the mixed multitude of tribes from Babylon to Samaria after the fall of the latter city, Ezra 4:10. It has been conjectured that the word is a misreading for Ashurbanipal.
There you go. Ashurbanipal. It's the same guy. In the Greek, it's Asbazareth. It's the same person. So Ashurbanipal is Asnapper or Asbazareth. All right.
Hold on, Deacon. I'm sorry.
Ezra got one too.
The reading.
You read it. Mm-hmm.
The reading as Bazareth in 1 Ezra 5:69 suggests that A has fallen out. If this conjecture is correct, the word as Snapper contains the only reference to the Syrian king Ashurbanipal in the Bible.
Or Asbazareth. That's the same guy. All right. Same guy. We're going to take a quick break because we're going to go into some heavy stuff after this. We have the time to do it? Yes, we do. So we're going to take a quick break for 5 minutes. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
Shalom Israel, Most High Christ bless. Deacon Don here of IUIC Philadelphia. You're tuned in to Our Hidden History Radio, where we go into deep understanding and history of who we are, according to the Bible, hidden artifacts, archaeology, the geography, all you can think of that shrouds around our history of the Bible. We go into it in depth. So Israel, like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel, Our Hidden History Radio. See you then. Shalom, Most High Christ bless.
Do you know it? Do you know it all?
Who have saved us and called us within holy calling. See that? Who have saved us and called us within holy calling. Some of y'all talking about you want to call from the mayor so you can go visit the mayor. You want to call from the president so you can go see Obama. Are you kidding me? You got the highest calling on earth. God is calling you.
I have to push. Let's pray until something happens. In the meantime, I'ma keep God commandments. Glory to the Father, love for the Son. Hold fast to what I have until He come. Push. I had to push. I had to push. Let's pray until something happens. In the meantime, I'ma keep God commandments. Push.
Go ahead and accept the fate. Some of y'all gon' reprobate. Some of y'all just can't relate. Boxed in like a featherweight. The prophet's back here to dominate. Eat cold cuts on the Sabbath day. Restitution is right on time. You know the Most High, He ain't never late. 2/3 on an open fire, while the 1/3 seen lamb and steak. I drink wine from the true vine. Read the Bible twice, now I'm awake. The 12 tribes, yeah, we here to stay. That's the punchline till we get the gate. I'm reaching for the kingdom so hard, I done damn near tore my shoulder blade. Deacon told me to hold the line like Spartacus, I ain't going away. By the way, them was Israelites. Tell Russell Crowe to his damn face. Surely his father have inherited lies. Now he checking everything he say. Show me proof of identification on his back to the Caucasus Mountain.
Let's pray until something happens. In the meantime, I'ma keep God commandments. Glory to the Father, love for the Son. Hold fast to what I have until He come. Push. I had to push. push. I had to push. Let's pray until something happens. In the meantime, I'ma keep God's commandments. Push.
We 4 chapters just to start up. Put 2 perfect precepts just to warm up. Ephesians 5, I got that water. You make you clean, you want that order. You got to push, turn it up. Get you some faith and then run it up. You gon' need it when they come at us. Boat on the wave, but I ain't no slave. King Z, cause the T silent. Crown top, walking with the giants. Main swing, I'm a young lion. Waiting on Christ, that's perfect timing. Boots on the ground for real, yeah. It's going down for real, yeah. Prophets, they rolling, they knowing the drill, yeah. Babylon falling, let's go for the kill, no breaking the seal.
Let's pray until something happens. In the meantime, I'ma keep God's commandments. Glory to the Father, love for the Son. Hold fast to what I have until He comes. Push. I had to push. I had to push. Let's pray until something happens. In the meantime, I'ma keep God's commandments. Push.
Life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Show up in your hood with this good. Yeah, my camp mic, this camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, it's do or down the ride, but it's camp life. This camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, we put our lives on the line, but it's camp life. This camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, we prophesy 365, but it's camp life. This camp life. Squad up. Who will rise and rise for the bottom? 365 prophesy who kept his grinding harder. 500 guys in rows of fire that'll leave you starstruck. 500 deep, that's 1,000 boots on your block with a mallet juice. We scrapped up with the word of God. We're aiming at the crowd to shoot. Man, we be the wildest brews. We in your streets, reppin' G.O.D. If you don't repent of your offense, then no offense, you're OPP. Christ coming back to flame the ops. Christ coming back to flame the block. Repent or die, stop getting high. The end is not Christ finished, God. He'll hit your town with plenty fire. He'll hit your town with genocide. Repent or die, why sit and lie? The end is not so mystified. You call us clowns, you repeat it why? We are some Power Rangers, cause the day is coming when we're morphing one with our angels. Camp life, yeah, we live this camp life. Show up in your hood with this good. Yeah, my camp mic, this camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, it's do or down the ride, but it's camp life. This camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, we put our lives on the line, but it's camp life. This camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, we prophesy 365, but it's camp life. This camp life.
Boots lace, you know we came to ride. All in your block, don't care about the odds. This truth is do or die. Come crown the kings and watch how we bling. We here 365. While you in your dreams, we on the scene, saving our people's lives.
What a time to be alive when it's going down. I got both eyes on the same prize. If you're trying to build, then it's hammer time. Deacon lava the mama, no COVID. Different scriptures, you can call it the rovers. Can't see it and you blind like Toby. Pass over with a sheep, but we golden. It's over.
False prophet, you fake. You don't do nothing you say. All day searching our page, looking for sin. Why is you hate? Why in the hood? All in they face. Purple and gold, we reigning. Put some respect on our name, we prophets. You a novice, your doctrine demolished. Stop it. Ask the apostles, watch us.
Take a look on the same page in our favorite book. 400 prophets with the same doctrine. Put it out my pocket, had your block shook. We'll read it like Officer Liam. Covered in spots, got for run like a cheetah. Quick in the script, 7 seconds can't beat them. More than a weapon, that Bible is lethal. They bugging like Beatles.
Camp life, yeah, we live this camp life. Show up in your hood with this good. Yeah, my camp mic, this camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, it's do or down the ride, but it's camp life. This camp life. Yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, we put our lives
I swore, yeah, we coming down your street. Spiritual war, bring that fire, gon' feel that heat. Squad up on them corners, can't be discreet with it. Shoot out scriptures like a gun, bullets, we speak with it. The words of God is our weapon, we get deep off in it. Confound the so-called Christians. Wise to the devil, we killing. Armor up, tearing down the doctrines of the word of spirit, she wicked. Posted up all day and night, gathering up the tribes of Israel. Step up to us, then you get this word. No, we don't fight, but feelings get hurt. We'll cut you up, slashing you with this word. Your spirit got cooked cause the scriptures you heard. We show you love, you think it's hate. If you don't repent, you must meet your fate. No, the Bible ain't up for debate. No sugarcoating, I'm telling you straight. We just a messenger. You try to shoot us down with the darks of fire, then you fail. Did you not know that nothing you do to the prophets of God, no, it won't prevail. Coming down strong and out of them coons. 144, we rising up soon. The other nation posted up with their goons. So what's about to happen next? Stay tuned. With this camp life, that's right, that's right. With this camp life, that's right, that's right. With this camp life,
yeah, we live this camp life. Show up in your hood with this good, yeah, my camp life, this camp life, yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, let's do it down the ride, but it's camp life, this camp life, yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, we put our lives on the line for this camp life, yeah, we live this camp life. Yeah, we prophesy 365 for this camp life,
We're going to prove to you that Jésus-Christ is noir. He's a black man, no blanc. Nous allons prouver que Jésus-Christ est
Creole now? Yeah, whatever.
Too long. And believe it or not, that's the voice of God.
Yeah. I ain't gonna change. IUIC rejects.
from the break.
Yes, sir.
Back.
So let's get into it real quick. Let's get into Ashurbanipal, Wikipedia. We're gonna start at 669, and we're gonna end at conflict. Some good stuff in here.
You know.
Got the map that I wanted? I got the map too, right? The Africa map?
IT, man. What's going on, man?
No, not now, but I'm just saying, do I have it? Yeah. Yeah, so hold on to that for now. Get this Ashurbanipal here. We're going to start at in 669. It should be somewhere, I think in his reign, maybe under reign.
Right here, Deep. Ascended the throne in 669 BC?
No, it starts off in 669. That's the sentence starts off with that. Go to reign, yeah.
All right, type in 669. All right. After Ashur-dan's death in...
Nope, that ain't it. That's not it. Go down. Just type in 669.
There go the rain right there.
It should say in. It starts off saying in 669. There you go, right there.
That's it.
Yep.
In 669 BC, Taharka had reappeared from the south and had inspired Egypt to attempt to free itself from Ashur-dan's control. Ashur-dan had received word of this.
So what does it say? Taharka, say?
Taharka, yes, sir.
That name sounds familiar. Wasn't that? Did he talk to Hezekiah?
That's the Ethiopian king.
That is him, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as Ethiopian told him, Hezekiah, listen, man, you better stop rebelling against the Assyrians, man. Stop playing around. Let me make sure that's him. Second King 19. Come on. Hold on. Where is it? 19. Yeah, right here. Yep. Taharka is verse 9. King of Ethiopia. Yep. He's come out to fight against you. So he told Taharka told Hezekiah, yo, Assyria's coming after you. Assyria's coming to conquer you. So it's the same guy. So read on. Taharka, king of Ethiopia. Go ahead.
In 669 BC, Taharka had reappeared from the south and had inspired Egypt to attempt to free itself from Ashur-dan's control. Ashur-dan had received word of this rebellion and learned that even some of his own governors, who he had appointed in Egypt, had ceased to pay tribute to him and joined the rebels.
Damn.
Ashur-dan had marched to defeat this rebellion, but had died before reaching the Egyptian border. To quell the threat, Ashurbanipal invaded Egypt.
That's his son.
In 667 BC, marching an Assyrian army as far south as Thebes, one of Egypt's ancient capitals, and sacking numerous revolting cities. Ashurbanipal's Razam cylinder records the following. In my first campaign, I marched against Magan, Malua, and Taharka, king of Egypt and Ethiopia, whom Ashur-dan, king of Assyria, the father who begot me, had defeated, and whose land he brought under his sway. This same Taharka forgot the might of Ashur, Ishtar, and the other great gods.
I said earlier, they deified their father, their ancestor Ashur. Go ahead.
My lords, and put his trust upon his own power. He turned against the kings and regents whom my own father had appointed in Egypt. He entered and took residence in Memphis, the city which my own father had conquered and incorporated into Assyrian territory. The rebellion was stopped, and Ashurbanipal appointed as his vassal, ruler in Egypt, Necho the First.
Necho, keep that name in mind. So he appointed Necho the First, Pharaoh Necho the First. Go ahead.
Who had been king of the city Sais, and Necho's son Samtik the First.
Right. So he appointed Samtik the First as well. Go ahead.
Who had been educated at the Assyrian capital of Nineveh during Ashur-dan's reign. Ashurbanipal left Egypt after his victory.
So keep the name in mind. Keep in mind Pharaoh Necho the First and Samtik the First. Keep those names in mind. Go ahead.
The country was thus seen as vulnerable, and Taharka's nephew and designated successor, Tantamani, invaded Egypt in hopes of restoring his family to the throne. He met the forces of Necho at Memphis, the Egyptian capital, and though Tantamani was defeated, Necho also died in the battle.
So Necho the first died in the battle of Egypt. Go ahead. For power over Egypt. Go ahead.
The situation quickly turned in Tantamani's favor as the Egyptians themselves rose up alongside him against Samtik, who escaped into hiding.
Against Samtik the first. Go ahead.
Hearing of this, Ashurbanipal again marched his army to Egypt and defeated Tantamani. In 663 BC, Thebes, the stronghold of the Cushites in Egypt, was sacked for a third time in less than a decade. And Tantamani abandoned the campaign and escaped back to Cush.
That's Ethiopia. Go ahead.
Victorious Ashurbanipal made Samtik the full pharaoh of Egypt in 665 BC.
Samtik the first. Go ahead.
And granted him Assyrian garrisons throughout Egypt. The next few years saw Ashurbanipal occupied elsewhere, leading his army in Anatolia against Tabal, in the north against Urartu, and in the southeast against Elam, with little attention given to Egypt, the kingdom which slowly slipped away from Assyrian control without the need for a bloody conflict.
Right. So at this point, I saw one. So at this point, Pharaoh Necho the first was killed in battle against Tantamani, and Samtik, who fled away, this king Ashurbanipal, right? Ashurbanipal put him in power, right? Ashurbanipal put him in power, put Samtik the first in power at this point as to rule, to govern Egypt, right? So now, let's get me the, what do I want? Give me the Lost Tribes map. The Lost Tribes map real quick. Blow it up some. Now, I want you to look for, go to Egypt. You're going to see, let's say he built garrisons, I believe. Assyrian king, he had built garrisons. You're going to see Egypt. You just see Samtik there.
You can't blow it up anymore, or do it get pixelated? Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit more.
Right there, that's good.
Okay, go to Egypt. Move it over to the left.
Samtik right here.
Samtik, what's that?
Samtik, above Libyan. See where it said Libyan desert, right above that.
Yeah, you see Samtik. What Samtik is that?
Samtik the first.
That's Samtik the first. That's the guy that the Assyrians set up there. Samtik the first. You see it says garrisons somewhere?
Yes, right here it says, it says garrison. It says Jewish garrison.
Right. Northern Kingdom was put there to build those garrisons. Northern Kingdom was put there to build those garrisons.
Near Tripoli.
Okay, Tripoli. Tripoli is that's part of Carthage, that area. This map is condensed pretty much. They're not all that close, but it says Samtik the first, right? That's who Ashurbanipal put in control of that region there. And Israel built the garrisons that were there under the rule of the Assyrians. Okay, so Northern Kingdom had been there for a while under Samtik the first. I think it says the second also, right? Is there two Samtiks there, first and second?
That thing on the map?
Yeah, what does it say? Samtik, just the first?
Yes, sir, just the first.
Okay, that was wrong then. So it is Samtik the first. I was right regarding, I was wrong. I thought it said first and second, but that's even better. That fits
exactly what we read.
What we're reading, right? Yeah. So Ashurbanipal placed him in charge of this region right here, this Egypt right here, and we built garrisons to ward off a fight against any, rebels like the Elamites and so forth, or any rival of the Assyrians. And Israel built the garrisons there. More than likely that was Northern or Southern Kingdom, because remember, Judah, mostly Northern Kingdom was displaced and placed in these lands. All right, so now.
So real quick, D, you think Northern Kingdom was fighting in the
armies,
of Samtik, right?
Yep. They were. So that's Jewish garrisons.
Correct.
We were fighting in the armies.
Yep.
In the Assyrian armies, as well as in those Egyptian ones, to aid the Assyrians.
Right.
Get me Tobit 14. Keep that map there. We're going to go back to it again. It's going to play a very important role. Tobit 14 and read verse 1.
The book of Tobit, chapter 14, verse 1. So Tobit made an end of praising God, and he was 80 and 50 years old.
85, he was 58 years old. Go ahead.
When he lost his sight, which was restored to him after 8 years, and he gave alms, and he increased in the fear of the Lord God and praised him. And when he was very aged, he called his son and the 6 sons of his son.
So his son had, so Tobias Jr. had 6 sons. Go ahead.
And said to him, my son, take thy children, for behold, I am aged and am ready to depart out of this life. Go into Media, my son.
Go to Media. Go ahead.
My son, for I surely believe those things which Jonas, the prophet, spake of Nineveh, that it shall be overthrown.
Right.
And that for a time, peace shall rather be in Media.
Right. Peace will be in Media. So keep that in mind. He says, I know prophetically that there will be, leave Nineveh and flee to Media, because there's gonna be peace there. You're gonna find out why there'll be peace in Media. Go ahead.
And that our brethren shall lie scattered in the earth.
If I have time to get there. Let me see, I might. Go ahead. And that what?
And that our brethren shall lie scattered in the earth from that good land.
And that our brethren will still remain scattered from that good land. Northern kingdom and southern kingdom as well. Eventually, after Babylon takes over. Go ahead.
And Jerusalem shall be desolate.
Yep.
And the house of God in it shall be burned, and shall be desolate for a time.
Damn, so he prophesied what the Babylonians would do. During the time of Assyria, Tobit says it's going to be burned. The Babylonians did this. Go ahead.
And that again, God will have mercy on them and bring them again into the land where they shall build a temple.
So he's prophesying that Persian captivity now. So Tobit's father was a prophet. He said Babylon, the first temple going to be burned, and they're going to build the second one. Go ahead.
Where they shall build a temple, but not like to the first.
Not like Solomon's. Go ahead.
Until the time of that age be fulfilled. And afterward they shall return from all places of their captivity and build up Jerusalem gloriously. And the house of God shall be built in it forever with a glorious building, as the prophets have spoken thereof.
Right, go ahead, the Persians, go ahead.
And all nations shall turn and fear the Lord God truly, and shall bury their idols. So shall all nations praise the Lord, and his people shall confess God, and the Lord shall exalt his people. And all those which love the Lord God in truth and justice shall rejoice, showing mercy to our brethren.
Going into this time now, he's going from Babylon to Persia to now, eventually in the future. Go ahead, not now, but in the future. Go ahead.
And now, my son, depart out of Nineveh, because that those things which the prophet Jonas spake shall surely come to pass.
That Assyria will be overthrown. Go ahead.
But keep thou thy law and the commandments, and show thyself merciful and just, that it may go well with thee. And bury me decently, and thy mother with me. But tarry no longer at Nineveh.
Don't stay here. Go ahead.
Remember, my son, how Ammon handled
Achiacharus, his nephew,
that brought him up, how out of light he brought him into darkness, and how he rewarded him again. Yet Achiacharus was saved, but the other had his reward.
Right, so Haman, obviously some dude named Haman, tried to do Achiacharus dirty, but the Lord turned it back on him. Go ahead.
But the other had his reward, for he went down into darkness. Manasseh gave alms and escaped the snares of death, which they had set for him.
King Manasseh, repentance. He's referring to King Manasseh's repentance. Go ahead.
But Ammon fell into the snare and perished.
Ammon got put to death. Go ahead.
Wherefore, now my son, consider what alms doeth, and how righteous doth deliver when he had said these. How righteousness doth deliver. When he had said these things, he gave up the ghost in the bed.
So as soon as he spoke those words to Tobit, he died. Go ahead.
Being 108 and 50 years old.
Damn, being 158, he died 158 years old. Go ahead.
And he buried him honorably. And when Anna, his mother, was dead, he buried her with his father. But Tobias departed with his wife and children to Ecbatane.
Ecbatane is Media. Go ahead.
To Raguel, his father-in-law.
To Raguel, his wife's land. His wife's father-in-law's land. Go ahead.
Where he became old with honor. And he buried his father and mother-in-law honorably. And he
buried his wife's parents honorably, because they were his parents too. Go ahead.
And he inherited their substance.
And he inherited their land, and their substance in that land of Media, where there will be peace there. Go ahead.
And his father's Tobits.
Go ahead.
And he died at Ecbatane in Media.
And he died at Ecbatane in Media. Go ahead.
Being 107 and 20 years old.
27 years old. 127 years old. Go ahead.
But before he died,
before Tobit Jr. died, go ahead.
He heard of the destruction of Nineveh.
He heard that Nineveh got destroyed before he died. So before he died, he got word Nineveh was destroyed. Go ahead.
Which was taken by Nebuchadnezzar.
By Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon. Go ahead.
And Assur.
And the Persians. Go ahead.
And before his death, he rejoiced over Nineveh.
He rejoiced over Nineveh being destroyed. He was like, yeah.
Yes, I live to see they
live to see it get destroyed. Yes. All right. So now let's get real quick. I want Lost Tribes again. I want page 287. I might get through it. Lost Tribes one more time. To 287. We're going to read from Sargonid again, and we're going to end at Judaism on page 288.
See, our forefathers always rejoice over the fall of our enemies.
Yeah, they did.
Over here, man, the Negroes praying for our enemies.
Yeah. 287, we're going to start at Sargonid again, and we're going to, read it to page 288. Go ahead.
But Sargonid Deportes.
The Deportes represents heathens who were displaced out the land, as well as northern kingdom among them, because the Assyrians displaced heathens and northern kingdom alike from different lands. Go ahead, Deportes. Go ahead.
May have been on the northern trade route from the Black Sea to the Far East, nearly 100 years earlier, 721 BC. And cities of the Medes.
Remember Ecbatane. Go ahead.
2 Kings 17:6. For Medes is a very inclusive term, meaning any Iranic Aryans as far northeast as the Elburz Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
The far-off Medes, whose name no one among the kings my fathers had ever heard. Writes Sennacherib repeatedly.
Watch this.
The book of Tobit tells that Ragus in Media was the place of safety for Israel.
There you go. It was the place of safety for Israel. He's quoting Tobit. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Persia and Persian kings are unknown to this early exilic writer.
Right, they don't know about Tobit, this early exilic writer. Go ahead.
Ezra has the Zaku concessions made by the Persian king, sent to all of his own nation that were in Media.
Mm-hmm. The Persians resided in Media. Go ahead.
That Josiah would consider the Medes and other Scythians his natural allies against Assyria and Egypt has been noticed already.
We'll get to that later on. Go ahead. We'll go back to that later. Go ahead.
The long antipathy between Mede and Assyrian meant cordial relations with Israel.
The long antipathy between Mede and Assyrian meant cordial what?
Relations with Israelite colonies.
So the long antipathy between Mede and Assyrian meant cordial relations with Israelite colonies. With Israelite colonies where?
In Media.
In Media where? Go ahead.
As Tobit pictures.
As Tobit said. Go ahead.
But Ragus in Media was a great ancient caravan center. It is succeeded by the modern Tehran, a little further north. Israelite colonies.
Israelite colonies. Go ahead.
In that vicinity.
Iran. Go ahead.
Were on the trade road running east to Merv and Bakar, while the road to the northwest leads into Transcaucasia, connecting with the Black Sea to Caspian line.
So Northern Kingdom resided in Europe. This is their settlement. They ended up migrating from the time of Syria. They migrated into areas of Europe. Right? Now, and some of them, most of them, went into idolatry. Some of them maintained their righteousness, their Judaism. Watch, like Tobit did. Watch.
With Israelites certainly planted in colonies that points on this Black Sea to the Orient trade route.
Black Sea to the Orient is the Near East leading into what? The Far East. That goes into your China. That goes into your Japan. As Northern Kingdom resided, India, they resided in these areas. Watch.
The Black Sea to the Orient trade route more than 1,300 years before
what?
The conversion of the Khazar rulers in Russia.
So they resided in this landmass before the Khazars converted over. They resided in this land before the conversion of the Khazar rulers in Russia or Kiev. Watch this.
It is to be remembered that theirs was not a rabbinic or Talmudic Judaism.
Stop. It is to be remembered that theirs, being the Israelites that reside in this area, there's not a rabbinic or Talmudic Judaism. Go ahead.
Just as Falasha Judaism is not.
Hold on. Just as Falasha Judaism is not rabbinic or Talmudic. Rabbinic is going into the so-called today, rabbis today, or Talmudic today, as in Babylonian Talmud, which is still rabbis, modern Jews today also. Okay, go ahead. Because they were there before them. They were keeping the commandments of God before. It says the Israelite colonies planted in these areas did not observe Rabbi Judaism or Talmudic Judaism, nor do just as the Falasha Judaism is not from rabbis or Talmudic. So what is Falasha Judaism? What is that? What is Falasha Judaism? And just stop there. Read on.
And that some survivals of such a type would be inevitable.
Because they were there earlier. Go ahead.
Despite the latter propagandism.
Despite what?
The latter propagandism of Talmudic Judaism.
That's all I want. Despite the latter propagandism of Talmudic Judaism. What is the author talking about? The author is saying that there was Judaism already being observed in this land before the Israelis got it. So these Israelis were not, before the converts were living there, who became your Jews today, the Khazars, Northern Kingdom was already there, keeping Judaism before the modern Judaism was introduced into the world. In propaganda, meaning pushed into the world, that's the true Judaism. These guys are already keeping the commandments of God and observing the ancient rites of Judaism before the modern day Khazars or so-called were pushing Judaism today or later on after that, 1,000 years later.
So before the converts.
Before the converts, thank you. Basically, these guys were around before the converts. From the time of Assyria until today. Well, not today, but till that time. You understand? So you're talking about from 700s BC all the way to 900s AD, 800s, 900s AD. Standing there almost 1,000 years, hundreds of years later. So now.
So basically, you said the Northern Kingdom was in Russia.
Right.
So that's why it says before the conversion of the Khazar rulers in
Right.
Russia.
Right. Exactly.
The Khazars got it from them.
From the Jews that resided there. It would be Judah or Ephraim. Remember, Assyria conquered Judah, and they conquered Ephraim. So you had Judah already residing in these areas, maintaining Judaism. So they were already there. When they resided in these lands, the Khazars were not converted yet, but they stayed in these lands for years. So now, going back to the point, it says there's not a rabbinic or Talmudic Judaism, just as Falasha Judaism is not rabbinic or Talmudic. What is Falasha Judaism? What is that? Real quick, type in dictionary.com, Falasha. Dictionary.com, I want Falasha real quick.
Is that the title they put for the Ethiopian?
Yes.
Falashan Jews.
Falasha, yep.
Well, I'm not gonna jump the gun. I'm gonna wait till you bring that out. But there's other cultures that stems from that, which they try to create something prominent, but it's not biblical. But I'm gonna wait till you bring that out.
All right. Falasha, Falasha. Yep, right there. Right there. Let's read that. We're gonna let's read that. What does it say?
Falasha, disparaging and offensive.
Disparaging and offensive. It's a disparaging and offensive term for Beta Israel, meaning the house of Israel, which were Ethiopian Jews. The Ethiopian Jews refer to themselves as Beta Israel, or house of Israel, but the so-called, those Khazar converts, refer to them as Falashas. Now, go down, watch this. But they were called Falashas before that. Watch this. Read right there. It talks about, what does it say?
Origin?
Yeah.
What happened? All right. Origin of Falasha. First recorded in 1710 to 1715.
Right.
From Emmerich Falasha, immigrant, exile, stranger.
Whoa. What does it mean again?
First recorded in 1710, 1715 from Amharic, Falasha.
Amharic is a Afro-Asiatic language. It's a Semitic language. Amharic is a Semitic language that's like it's pretty much almost extinct, but they use it ritualistically. Like I guess they use some words they still use. These particular people called Falasha Jews, Ethiopian Jews. Read again.
First recorded in 1710 to 15 from Amharic, Falasha, immigrant, exile, stranger. From Falash, active participle of Falasha to migrate.
It means to migrate. It means stranger, exile, migrate, immigrant, pretty much. Yeah.
So this right here definitely explains Acts 8:27.
It's a byword. Yes.
Right.
It's a byword.
Right, because the Ethiopian eunuch, he had to have been a Jew to be reading the book of Isaiah.
Right.
And
He
then
came from
Philip,
Pentecost.
and Philip went to him and trying to break down, he was reading Christ.
And he converted him. And Philip
Right.
converted him, and he brought it back.
Right.
So read on.
Usage note for Falasha. The derogatory name Falasha refers to a community of Ethiopian Jews.
Watch what who are referred to as exiles, strangers.
Or to be a member of this community,
What's going on?
Or, where we at? Go down some. The derogatory name Falasha refers to a community of Ethiopian Jews or to a member of this community, most of whom now live in Israel.
Most of whom now, because they were airlifted there under Operation Moses and Joshua in 1984. Okay? And now they're being discriminated against. They call them cushy, nigga, and they mistreat them for the past 30 years. They secretly, through vaccinations, sterilized the women over there, made them barren because they were growing too much. They were multiplying too much. So they're saying that they're a danger, they're dangerous. They're niggas over there in Israel, basically.
They remember what happened in Exodus too.
But that's not anti-Semitic though, right? They called them tribe of Dan. Israelis call them tribe of Dan and treat them like crap. But that's not anti-Semitism. Okay, go ahead.
The Amharic word Falasha.
The Amharic word or Semitic word Falasha. Go ahead.
Means outsider.
Means outsider. Go ahead.
Exile.
Exile.
And this name was given to the Ethiopian Jews.
This name was given to the Ethiopian Jews. Watch this.
By other Ethiopians.
By other Ethiopians. Go ahead.
The community refers to itself as Beta Israel.
As the house of Israel. We're not Falashas.
Right.
We're the house of Israel. That's what they call themselves. But the Ethiopians who they reside among called them Falashas, outsiders. Why? Because you had Semites and Cushites. The Cushites said, you guys are Falashas. You don't belong here. And they would kill them and mistreat them. So they fled to Israel. They fled to Israel. Okay? And they said, we're Israelites. So the white man said, well, since the truth is going out now, and people are saying that the Jews are black, here's what we'll do. We'll airlift these niggas, what they call niggas, or Cushi, we'll airlift these Cushi to our land and say, see, the tribe of Dan, you got some black Jews, see, to cover their ass. Because the truth is spreading more that the Jews are black. So to cover their ass, they airlifted our people from Ethiopia, who were being persecuted by real Cushites, brought them into the land. So you guys, based upon DNA and a freaking mouth swab, you guys are Danites. But they're like, no, we're not Danites. We're the house of Israel, and we've been here since the time of we've been in that area since the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. That's in the video I played in the class I did called Israel and Africa and the Americas. The guy says that our people are the Jews, and we reside in Ethiopia from the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. If they're the Jews that reside in Ethiopia from the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, that's the exiles that returned during Babylon's time. But the majority of those who returned from Babylon was not Dan. That was Judah and Benjamin and Levi. Right. The Israelis say, no, they're Dan. Because if they're Judah too, then that would be confused. How you got a freaking white dude, he's Judah, and a Negro, dark as night, he's Judah too? That don't make no sense. You understand? So it will cause a confusion to the world if they declare a bunch of black people Judah like them. So they say, no, they're Dan, because remember, Northern Kingdom is scattered. Northern Kingdom is mixed with everybody, so they came back looking like niggas. Originally, it looked like us, but Northern Kingdom is mixed all around, so now it looked like them. They flipped it. You You understand? So they called them Philashas. The Ethiopians called them Philashas first. Then when they got to Israel, the Israelis called them Philashas or Cushi. And then they say, the Ethiopian Jews say, no, we're Beta Israel, we're House of Israel. We're Israelites. Okay? But the Israelis say, listen, you guys are Jews, you got to convert to the Judaism that we push. Going back to that what? Going back to that rabbinic or Talmudic Judaism. That came later on, but they were already in that land hundreds of years before. From the time of Assyria to Babylon, they were already in that land, observing Judaism, before the Khazars converted over. So now, real quick, I don't think we got much time. Real quick, go to Google Philasha, real quick. Just Google it. Type in Philasha and Google it.
So, can we use Zephaniah 3 and 10 for that?
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Zephaniah, we're going to get that in a minute. Yeah, that is Zephaniah 3 and 10. That's exactly who they are.
Hey, Deke, so that lets you know the curses follows because Deuteronomy 28:37, that's a byword. That's a byword.
Right? Yeah. That's like Dalit. Dalit means outsider also.
Yeah.
And then when they're bringing to Israel, they're still being oppressed.
Right.
Yep. Send your enemies against you, deport you out your land.
Mm-hmm. Got it? You got not better Israel. I said Philasha. Yeah, Google Philasha.
3:30.
Yeah, let me wrap it up.
So the Lord is just putting the spirit on the prophet.
Type in definition. Philasha definition. Try that.
Bring it all together, right?
Yeah, connect the dots.
Philasha. Oh, you spell flashy. Philasha.
Flashy. Come on, bro.
Judah. Making the team look bad right now, B.
Wow, man.
Making the team look bad, B.
Flashy Jews.
Sorry.
My man.
Philasha. F-A-L-A-S-H-A.
Yeah, we just read it earlier.
My man need directions of Sesame Street, huh?
To get to Sesame.
He said I'm flashy on Sesame Street.
Trouble misspelling is wasting time. You're like, yo, my God, man.
Flashy.
It'll be 4 o'clock before I spell the word.
He blanging with Big Bird.
Yo. Man, sat in the same class with Big Bird on it.
Well, just go back to that one.
Christ.
Just go back to what I was reading, man, and get the word from there.
You're spelling it wrong. That's why Google's like confused. Google's like, what the hell are you trying to spell? I'm confused.
Google like this.
Philasha?
My man graduated with Elmo.
I can't. Okay, you got it? Go down.
No,
it ain't coming up. Philasha ain't coming up.
Damn, bro.
Well, just go back to what we were reading.
It's saying flashy.
Bro, you killing us right now.
Philasha. I think it's Philasha.
Yeah, highlight it. Highlight it. I know. It's a hot seat, brother. I know it's a hot seat.
Yes.
Man, where we at?
I don't even know anymore. I'm just.
We wanted to go to Philasha.
Type in Philasha meaning on the Google. Type in Philasha meaning. F-A-L-A-S-H-A meaning. It should pop up.
And handy.
There you go. Thank God, Jesus Christ. All right, now just go. Click that the arrow right there. Translations. Click that. Blow it up real fast. Read it real fast. We gotta wrap this up.
All right.
Look at the map real quick.
A member of a group of people in Ethiopia who hold the Jewish faith.
Why? Because the Israelis got to them. So they hold the Jewish Talmudic faith. Go ahead.
But use G's rather than Hebrew as a liturgical language.
Liturgical language. G's goes back to Amharic, going back to a Semitic language. It's like a old language that they use here and there. Go ahead.
The Philashas were not formally recognized as Jewish until 1975.
I mean the tribe of Dan until 75. Go ahead.
And many of them were airlifted to Israel in 1984 and 85 and after.
Right, called the Operation Moses, Operation Joshua, all kind of nonsense. So we go down Amharic, which is the word it says. In Semitic, it means what?
Amharic, literally exile, immigrant.
Right. Now.
Is it safe to say diaspora?
Diaspora, yeah. That's what they are. Get Zephaniah 3 and 10 real quick.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 10.
Get the map now. We're going to wrap it up after this.
from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia.
From beyond where?
The rivers of Ethiopia.
Rivers of Ethiopia. Go ahead.
My suppliants.
My suppliants. Go ahead.
Even the daughter of my dispersed.
The daughter of my dispersed. That's who the Beta Israel is. They are Zephaniah 3 and 10.
Oh, praise.
Shall bring my offering.
They shall repent and come to the Lord. Now, you should see right over Abyssinia. Go down Abyssinia. Watch what you see. Blow it up some. Zoom it in. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in.
That's probably about as good.
Right there. What do you see over the word of Abyssinia?
Put a circle.
The red line. It says Philashas.
Put your cursor. Put your cursor around it. It's hard to make out, but that's what it's saying.
It says Philashas right over Abyssinia. Abyssinia is Ethiopia. This is an old map. This map is old. Okay, this map shows you the placement where Israel was hundreds of thousands of years before these Khazar, these Israelis were around. You have Philashas in Abyssinia. And the Ethiopians or Abyssinians, the Hamites that were there, called them Philashas. It says 1700s. They called them Philashas, meaning outsiders, exiles. You guys don't belong here. And they were persecuting them. And they called themselves House of Israel while they were there. So then the Jewish folk, the so-called, said, okay, we acknowledge you as Israel. You're the tribe of Dan. And airlifted them from persecution into Israel under Operation Moses, I think in Joshua in 84 and 85. And then treat them just as bad as the Hamites did in Ethiopia. Okay? So I'm just showing you that the Philashas resided in Abyssinia, which is Ethiopia, same place pretty much. It says Philashas right there. All right? So they're definitely Zephaniah 3 and 10.
And he called them a tribe that no longer exists.
Right, and they've been there since the Northern Kingdom has been. Well, they've been there since. I showed you Samik earlier. Northern Kingdom resided up there with some Judah, with some Southern Kingdom based upon Assyrian placement, and then under Babylonian placement, we ended up here in Abyssinia. Or we going back to the Book of Acts, as Ovasayan mentioned, the eunuch. Same thing. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up on that. That's pretty much that. Yeah, that's basically it. And then October 14, 15 mentions Nebuchadnezzar coming up. So we're gonna go into the fall of Assyria. At the end of it. That's next week's lesson. The fall of Assyria entirely. All right. So all praise to the Lord. Shout outs to the breakfast team. A little bit props to IT team because the spelling.
They started going good. So.
Yeah, that started going good until I asked you to spell words, and then it was all downhill from there.
Flashy on Sesame Street.
That's set up, bro. Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, let's give Deacon a round of applause. Beautiful class, beautiful history. Hey, I don't know about y'all, Deacon, but our Deacon been on fire, man. Last two Sabbaths, one Sunday. You know what I mean? It's coming good. So all praises to the Most High for the understanding that our leadership is bringing out. Israel, don't forget to send your donations. IUIC Philadelphia at israelunite.org. That's IUIC Philadelphia at israelunite.org. Or if you like to send other donations to the fundraising and for us to get our books, IUIC fundraising at israelunite.org. Once again, that's IUIC IUIC.fundraising at israelunited.org.
Right.
And also follow us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Our Hidden History. Like, subscribe, and share. You was gonna say something, Deke?
Yes, I was. Also, those of you who've been donating to the books collection, we got a lot of books. We got a whole bunch of books. We're gonna definitely be using them. I will be presenting them before y'all, so y'all can see what your donations are buying to contribute to the lessons. So I got a whole collection of books in the house that we're gonna present in the lessons coming up after the captivity or during the captivity lessons. I'm gonna present the books to show some different things, some different historical things you guys hopefully will enjoy. So your donations are not in vain. We appreciate them. Thank you very much.
All praises.
We will show you them.
Definitely. Also, download IUIC.tv to watch all of our shows live. All right, IUIC.tv. All right, Israel, like, subscribe. Once again, iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.org for your donations. All right. With that, we say shalom.
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 Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back, he done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Rounding up the book to read, I gotta get them all looking overseas, and you know it, and you know it, yeah. Rounding up the